I am not muted now. Cool. I think I might have to. I think I might have to update it for every scene. So we'll see what happens as we go. Hi everyone. Hello again. We'll try that again. You're with me, Alistair. Welcome to the June FM playoffs. We I am a boomer. I don't know what to say, but we are here. We are ready. We're gonna go. There's so much in store today. I'm gonna now introduce you to my panel for today. If we switch over to these lovely gentlemen here, um, they're a gorgeous bunch, aren't they? They're an absolutely
Oh,
gorgeous bunch. We'll start diagonally because no one starts diagonally, and I fancy switching it up. Um, Joined diagonally to me is my usual sort of partner in crime, I suppose. How we roll, Owen. Owen, how are you on this lovely, lovely June day? And thank you, Clates, for the raid. I apologise. I'm not very good at my job.
I'm going to switch it up by starting muted and going diagonal. It's an unconventional approach. I'm flying it. Really excited for this final. I mean, the only thing negative is I've got this shtick of wearing a tie and suit when it's roasting. That's the only drawback of today. But no, I can't wait. It's going to be really fun. A lot of talk from a lot of pundits about who's going to fail. Ali has backed all 12 people not to get out of the groups, so it'll be interesting to see how he plays that one off. But no, I can't wait.
Thanks, Owen. I am bringing the controversy when it comes to the predictions. Over to my right, or I guess if you're from my perspective, my left, is the one, the only, the funny man, Tony Jameson, FM. Tony, how are you on this Sunday?
Very well, thanks, man. Joke o'clock apparently, so we'll start firing up the jokeometer. Can't wait to get started tomorrow. So obviously we've had a full week of this. We've had qualifiers, we've had draft show, we've had drafts and crafts, and now we're here. We've got a couple of redemption arc stories on the go. Clates has brought a whole stack of people in, so welcome, of course, everyone who's come from the Clates raid. I guess all we're just literally ready to get started. So yeah, let's have it. Let's have it.
Let's have it. And we also have someone here. I'm very excited to have them in. It is their punditry commentary debut in the FM draft scene. It is the United City FM. Kev, how are you, mate? How are you?
I'm doing fantastically well. Thank you very much. And thank you very much for the invite. I really appreciate it. I'm very excited to be here as well. We'll see in the next sort of 4 or 5 hours whether any of the viewers remain that way by my performance as the afternoon goes on. But really good. Really happy to be here. Let's get the draft on.
Amazing, amazing. Well, now that we've sort of introduced everybody, we can now transition into just taking a look at the general groups and throwing some ideas out there. So,
Still muted.
Every scene. He's got something every scene.
Do we have to provide a tap dance routine or something here?
Is
that how it works? Or
Ali in the Mud is correct. You should change your surname to Ali in the Mud rather than Ali Stair.
Tony, you're the funny one. Tell a joke, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
There you go. I'll fill for a little bit, okay? That's it.
No. No, what you want to do is type applause and put it up. Just hope they. I've seen TV.
He's sorted. He's good. It's yeah, we'll be all right. We'll be all right. So yeah, the groups are up as Ali's saying just while he unmutes his microphone. I don't know. Are you back? Can we hear you now? Possibly. Possibly back.
Make sure while you're figuring it out, you should go to the other scenes in the background and do all that. Can we hear Ali stream out of curiosity? Because I just realized we've all said nothing and Ali's asked a question, which it doesn't work like that.
Still can't hear it. Right. Okay. So I'll tell you what, while you fix that then, Ali. So we'll go through the groups.
The viewer numbers are going up all of a sudden.
Group A is Stinger, Mozza, Viking Dan, Goofy Geord, FM Girl, and G Mozza. Now, Owen, you've been with us over the weekend, okay? FM Girl's coming for a bit of stick. Stinger, of course, has the narrative of always being the bridesmaid. Viking Dan is the reigning champion. Goofy Geord comes in strong, and G Mozza smashed the qualifiers. this is a tricky group to predict. Am I right?
Oh yeah, 100%. Well, any group with Alice without any other context is just tricky group to predict. Her games are always madness. The rest, all like I say, probably three of the best drafts in the group are G Mozza, and Goofy Jord. Viking Dan and Stinger have the tactics to go with it, so anyone could win this. I'm the only one backing Alice to rattle. I think she'll rattle close to getting out of the group. I don't think she'll make it in the end. But everyone else is slated to prop up a very strong group.
Well, to be fair, I mean, Kev, I hate to bring it up early doors,
Go for it.
but Alice is someone who is unpredictable in a draft tournament. Yeah, I mean, you've had experience of that before. You were so close to getting out of the competition, and of course, Alice had that insane result. Looking at this group right now, where's your initial thoughts going? Who are you excited to see? Who do you think might struggle? I mean, we're not going to get predictions right now, but looking at that group, where's your eyes drawn to straight away?
Well, I think it's definitely true that the likes of Muzza had a good draft from all intents and purposes. A lot of the panel on the night seem to think that. I think that's a definite. But I'm here looking at managers a little bit. This is Football Manager. This is not Football Squads tournament. This is a management tournament. And I'm going Dan. Whatever we think about his current squad, I think that he's got the tactical nous to make anything work pretty much. And so I'm all in for Dan. I think the one that might struggle the most is the unpredictable FM girl, potentially Alice, although she scares me, so don't tell her I said so. But but ultimately, yeah, I think that she might struggle a little bit. The rest of it is going to be interesting. Muzza, both very good drafts. I think Stinger is always this bridesmaid tag. Whether he can change that today, I don't know. And as you said earlier, Tony, Goofy is on a bit of a roll. He's won some stuff recently, looked pretty good. But I have to back Dan because at the moment he's given me no reason not to.
It's a fair point, to be honest. I mean, you wear the titles belt, then you are going to have a target on top of you. Then people will want to be coming for that. Stinger's desperate to get some silverware. We know that. Mozza got to the final last month. He's desperate. As we say, G Mozza's come. Everyone's backing him with his draft. So I think Group A, potentially on the face of it, is the easier group because Group B looks horrible if you're a participant. Bust the Net, GYR, Curti, Limo, Mr. Diz, and Sweet Left Foot. I'm just going to take a second just to look at that and go, I'm glad I am not taking part in that group. Kev, I mean, where do you even begin, right?
Mr. Diz? Let's start with Mr. Diz.
Straight in the mud.
Mr. Diz.
Let's start with Mr. Diz. And here's my thing with Mr. Diz, right? Mr. Diz is in theory in a group with some tactical stalwarts, the likes of Limo, that is incredibly difficult to beat. He knows what he comes in with. He drafts for it. He does it well. Sweet Left Foot. We'll talk about his the squads later and some of the players, but I was impressed with a couple of things that he did in his draft. Mr. Diz didn't have the best draft from a lot of people's perspectives. I kind of agree with it, but I just can't not back him. He's Mr. Diz. Look at that face, for goodness sake. How can you not back Mr. Diz? But I think he might struggle just a little bit. What I would also say is that there'll be a conversation you and I will have later in the program about Bust the Net, because Bust the Net comes up on one of my predictions as somebody I think who didn't quite have as good a time as maybe others did. So there's something to think about there. But yeah, Mr. Diz, I think, is going to struggle a little bit, but I really, really want him to win absolutely everything because he's Mr. Diz.
Oh, 100%. I mean, he is the entertainment in this group, I think. I think people have tried to mud him and say that he had a bad draft. I think there's a couple of players that personally I wouldn't have gone for. Mm-hmm. I think that there is a couple of holes in his squads, and we'll maybe talk about those squads in a second. But I think that Diz isn't the weak link in this group. I think you've mentioned there Bust the Net. Bust the Net himself has tweeted out that the draft didn't quite go as he hoped. Maybe that's mind games. Maybe he's trying to sort of downplay it because you expect a lot from Bust the Net, but you've got your tactical man GYR in there. You've got Curti, who knows his way around a draft and a tournament. He's always there or thereabouts. Limo's won this twice. Sweet Left Foot comes in with experience of the showdown. Owen, is it Mr. Diz is out, or is Mr. Diz the silent sneaky. I'm not going to say the silent assassin, but is he the underdog that's just going to go under the radar and sort of, I don't know. You don't shoot the jester, right?
Oh, I don't know. He's the underdog in the sense, like I would say, Watford, Fulham coming up next year is the Premiership is the underdog. Like when we got asked to do our predictions, like Mr. Diz was the worst draft for me. Looking back at it, maybe Boston might have pipped him, but like it was a very competitive race for not a great draft. He did similar to what he did in the Streamer Showdown. He drafted players, and you're like, well, these are good players, but not traditionally in PvP. So I don't know. I think himself and the best he can hope for is coming fifth. Himself and Bustanet that game will be a big game. Inevitably be a 0-0 draw probably. But Group B as a whole it's an interesting group. Like it should be, I don't know, we're Chris at the Rage Cage. You got Curty in there who can control a little bit of a fit. Bustanet. Diz likes to get angry. I mean, all it's missing is a Dan and maybe a Dr. Benji. And you've got like the big ragers of Football Manager,
Yeah, I think you mentioned him quite a bit there. You're right. There's a lot of anger in that group. And to be fair, I think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be as straightforward as we maybe would have thought. I think I'm just going to mention actually some of the stats from in-game before we get started, okay? Because we do love the in-game predictions, okay? And I'm saying Mr. Diz is not out of this. The game, however, would suggest otherwise. Okay, the game, and this is only the game. And I love you, Diz. Right? Okay, you co-host a very successful podcast with me, right? Mr. Diz is backed at 1,000 to 1 on the game. That is based, as Andrew, the stat man in the chat says, that is in-game current ability predictions. So that's not necessarily correct. But this is what the game's saying, right? Okay. Mr. Diz 1,000 to 1, Viking Dan 100 to 1, Bust the Net and Stinger at 50 to 1, Goofy Jord at 33 to 1, Limo at 25s along with G Muzzer, 18 to 1 for Mozza, 9 to 1 for GYR, Alice FM Girl 7 to 1, 13 to 1 second, that's 13 to 2 second favorite is Sweet Left Foot, and Curty 10 to 11 favorite. 10 to 11. How's that feel? Does that change anyone's views now then as to what we've just said previously?
I'm off to the SI forums to make a bug complaint. Some of them. I mean, the Diz one makes sense. I'm pretty sure it's maxed out at 1,000. Like he's 1,000 to 1 out of 1,000 or 1. In like evens. Like,
do you think it's family fortunes? Like out of 1,000 people pulled, Mr. Diz has come in it.
There's a couple that surprised me there. I think a lot of the drafts were quite strong, but like FM Girl, I wasn't expecting to be quite that high up. I just think her madcap tactics were going to get her through more than the draft she had. If it's basing just off current ability, so it's always interesting with the FM stats.
And Kev, do you subscribe to the FM stats? Because we're going to start bringing up the actual stats in a second. Do you subscribe to the stats?
No. Basically,
moving quickly on.
Well, basically, what I think is I have drafted enough to know that you can feel you've had a brilliant draft and then nothing works for you in the games. And I've drafted enough to occasionally have what I consider a below par squad and then them go and win something for whatever reason. There's a lot of random elements that go on in these kind of competitions, and all of the stats in the world are fantastic, but it's the same as anything. Just because a IRL player played well last week doesn't mean he'll play well next week, and who knows what's going to happen today. So no, not particularly, but it's kind of interesting to see what the game thinks. It's kind of interesting to see where different players have fitted into different squads before and success stories or not. But no, on the day, who knows? Anything's going to happen, isn't it, really?
Yeah, that's true. Welcome in, Ticker, by the way. Huge raid there from you. A pleasure to have you all in. We are, of course, as part of the FM playoffs today. This is the play-by-play. We're going to get started in about 15 minutes or so for the action. So again, huge shout for Ticker there. Thank you for that. Ali, while he's been working on his microphone, apparently has the stats pack ready. So we might take a little look at that. Let's see if we can bring that up on the screen.
I think I'm back now.
He's back.
I think I'm back.
Welcome.
It's literally.
Can we hear him?
Can we hear me? Can we hear me? Am I hearable? Right,
grown.
literally, it does not work on the groups. On the groups, it does not work. So we're not gonna look at the groups ever again. That's been vetoed. That's done. That's done. Mashallah, indeed, Rich. Well, here we are. We have the stats. We're back. Let's go. I guess in terms of the stats, then we are starting here with G Muzzer. Thank you very much for taking over, Tony. I appreciate that as well.
That's all right, mate.
In the current FM draft rankings, G Muzzer is ranked at number 42. It's his debut in a Triple Crown tournament, as it's been dubbed by the community, but he is quite regular in a lot of FM drafts. He's won Limo and Daljit's draft tournaments. His key player, when we were asking him, was Tammy Abraham. In the simulations, he won one. He made 2 semi-finals, 3 quarterfinals, and he finished bottom once. So, I mean, how we roll, Owen, I guess. What do you make? What do you make of that simulation? What do you make of sort of the players that he's identified? Where do you think he'll finish?
I think it's about right. I'd mentioned in Drafts and Crafts, and even at drafting, he's my dark horse for the competition. The kind of person, he could make a run if things go his way. He gets lucky with injuries. I think he's got a strong squad. He knows what he does, like he does everyone's community draft. He's always in Bustinets. He's always in Limos. He runs a couple of himself. He did, I think, 2 since we drafted. So he won Thursday, he won Friday. So the man knows drafting. He doesn't panic on a couple of goals deficit. I'm really intrigued to see how he performs. Hopefully the occasion, because we're a big deal. Hopefully it doesn't get to him, Also, he wears a fine suit as well in this picture.
Owen does love a man in a suit. So I guess we will switch over to, and I'm hoping this works. It has worked. It's not all gone to crap. We have Bust the Net, the Singapore Tactical Slinger. I really hope he came up with that nickname himself. He's very good at insults as well, if any of you have seen that clip. This is his 7th appearance in the playoffs. He's draft ranked at number 48. His previous record, he's made 3 qualifiers and 1 semi-final. He's not made a final or made victory yet. He identified his key player as his first pick, Phil Foden. In the simulations, he made 3 semi-finals, 1 quarter-final, and he finished bottom of the group twice. We'll pass this one over to Kev. What do you make of Daljit's chances today?
It's challenging for me to talk about Daljit in a lot of ways because this guy is a tactical genius in so many ways. I draft with him a lot on a Saturday afternoon within his community drafts and stuff, and he knows what he is doing. Has he done it on this sort of stage enough to warrant potentially the reputation he's got? I'm not sure totally. I'm not sure his draft is as good as he wants it to be, as we've already alluded to. So I'm not totally convinced by Busternet on this occasion, if I'm honest. But he's clever and smart enough tactically to make something happen that we're not maybe expecting. And so anything can happen with him. I think he's going to struggle, but keep an eye on him.
Amazing. Well, we'll move on to the one and only FM Guild. Drang rank number 40. No more Mass Pedersen. No problem, apparently. But I think, judging by what everybody said during the draft, big problem. This is her 2nd entry into the playoffs, and in that appearance, she reached the quarterfinal. Her key player is only Andrew Carroll, which makes me feel a little bit better about the way that she drafted. In the simulation, to my surprise anyway, she made 2 wins, made 3 quarterfinals, but did finish bottom twice. We'll hand over to Tony. I mean, no one rated the draft, Tony. Do you think that, those 2 wins in the simulation could potentially be a good sign for Alice?
I think she'll get those 2 wins. I don't know how she'll get those 2 wins, but I think she'll get those 2 wins. I'm not sure if Alice knows how she's going to get those 2 wins, but you know what? I'm backing her. I know that we all had a bit of a time watching the draft, and we thought, that it was not quite going our way. And I know that Stick Piano was very open, saying, "This is the plan. This is the plan. This is the plan." She's reading another plan clearly, but that's what's great about her. She just goes off script. She feels her way around the draft. She's not going to be rigid. She's in for entertainment. And I think, you know what, because of that she is unpredictable. And we're saying here that the key players are picked by the competitors themselves. Andy Carroll, Ali, you love Andy Carroll. Jebberu loves Andy Carroll. I love Andy Carroll. We have to back her just for the fact she's got Andy Carroll. Clearly, she's got the big man up front. She hasn't got MGP, but it doesn't matter. She's got Andy Carroll, and he's going to be the MVP.
Amazing. And I should specify the key player is their choice. We haven't identified that. They've put that player forward. So that's not our expert analysis. Although if it was up to me, the key player would still definitely be Andy Carroll. We'll move on to the next man, the man behind the FM playoffs. It's Mozza. He's draft rank number 37. He is last month's best loser by finishing second to Viking.
Best loser,
Dan,
wow.
He is the best loser.
Best loser. I wish we could away from winning the thing. He was terrible.
Well, it was also his best performance last time out, and getting to the finals of a competition, and I don't know how many finals you've got to. I'm going to assume none. Let's give him a bit of credit.
I don't have to run a tournament to try and win it, to be fair.
Do you know what? Good point. His key player is Olivier Giroud, and in the simulations, he got 1 dub, 3 semi-final finishes, 2 quarter-final finishes, and 1 bottom. Kev, how do you think the boss man will fare?
Well, partly because he's the boss man, he's going to do brilliantly well, of course. Hi, boss. But what I would say is those simulations do show that even though, you can potentially pick them apart a little bit in certain ways, he was successful in them. You said, what was it? 1 win, couple of semi-finals, couple of quarterfinals. There's a lot that I like about his squad. I think he had a really solidly good to good draft. And the last time out he did well. There's no reason to think he can't necessarily continue that on. I mean, he came into last time with a bit of a reputation, didn't he? And potentially his drafting on the line, I seem to remember, as to how well he did or didn't do last time out. But he showed what he was capable of. I think he can do it again. I think this squad is decent. I think he'll definitely get out of the group, and then it's a bit of a lottery.
All right, then. Well, I guess we will see how he fares. Next up, we have someone who some people thought his draft was okay. Other people thought his draft was absolutely terrible. It's Sweet Left Foot. It's Mike. Number 33 in the FM rankings. Can he win his own FM print? I think it would certainly save him on them shipping costs. His knockout record is 1 quarter-final. He apparently doesn't have a key player, which is probably reflective of his draft being quite poor, according to a lot of people. And in the simulations, he made 4 semi-finals, 1 quarter-final, and he finished bottom once. Owen, do you think people have been a bit harsh on him?
Not really. I don't think it's harsh or generous. I think it's as I said on Friday, it's Mike doing Mike things or Sweet Left Foot doing Sweet Left Foot things. Like, he's got a lot of risk in his draft in players that'll pay off. Like, Meslier's a good keeper, but there's an accident mistake in him, but he can also pull out worldies. I did criticize him for the captain of Fraud FC in Kimpembe at centre back. He's going to miss header after header from long balls. His key player, I'm going to tell you who it is now. It's Dimitri Payet. Hands down, best player he has is Reece James, but Dimitri Payet is outrageous in draft mode. He almost, Alice nearly lost me with 10 men because Dimitri Payet just banged 2 free kicks from 35 yards. I got dominated in the game, but he's don't mind James Ward-Prowse. He's only got 17 or 18 free kick taking. He's phenomenal. Other than that, he jumped on the Zealand Dominic Solanke train. He doesn't really have Smaka is a Skamanka, however you say his name, is like a big tall boy, but off wish. So I don't know. He's some brilliant draft picks, and then the other 13 of them are not so brilliant.
It's looking like Jebberu. Big up Jebberu. He's working tirelessly behind the scenes. Has put his key player as Dominic Solanke. I suspect to grind Tony's gears. Do you have anything you want to say before we move on, Tony?
What's the phrase? Is it one swallow does not make a summer? Come on, Zealand has managed to get a tune out of Dominic Solanke, but Dominic Solanke himself has not managed to get a tune out of Dominic Solanke. Man's a fraud.
Man is a fraud. That's the verdict. We'll see. We'll see if Tony's right. We'll see if Tony's wrong. But from my experience, Tony's usually rather right. And we're going to stick with Tony. I'm just saying that because I want to be on the podcast. Anyway,
I like the addition of the word "rather" there, because that was very much good. Is you rather right? That'll do.
We have next up Mr. Diz. check out the Scouted Centre on YouTube. He's making some waves with that, to be honest. I'm a big fan. It's his second playoff appearance in his knockout record. He's one quarterfinal. His key player, and I don't want to say it, so you can all read it. In the simulations, he has made one semi-final, 4 quarterfinals, and 1 bottom. I know he's your new co-host, Tony, but come on.
Look, I'm not having it. Everyone's griefed is right, and Rich Owens has been in the chat saying, he's going to let 12 or 13 more slights at Mr. Diz being the new co-host of the podcast go, and that's fine. Shout to Rich Owens, by the way, in the chat. I think Diz. The more I look at Diz's lineup, right, the more I think that it's not quite as bad as it was maybe thought to be on the night. Okay. Mark Noble stands out as a player that I think is a really strange one. And I've made the joke every single night that I believe that Diz thinks there's a testimonial match to be played at the end of the tournament. He's going to have 45 minutes on each side. I think Bellingham and Camavinga could be an interesting midfield because Casemiro's in there. I think Casemiro might get a red card, possibly. I like Anthony. I like Bowen. Tavernier, I like as a fullback. I think Spinazzola, biscuit legs, I'm worried about. I think he's going to be injured. But he's got Donnarumma in goal, Raspadori and Caputo up front. Diz ain't going to be finishing bottom. I don't think he's going to finish bottom. It's a tough group. And I think the thing is, because it's a tough group, I actually think that plays into Diz's hands. Because you'll be, as we said with Alice, those matches will be they'll be able to chip points off people that maybe they're set up in a certain way, and Diz will be able to counteract that. Alice will be able to counteract that. Diz, come on, prove the doubters wrong.
Well, he's heard the rallying cry. Let's see if he can, come to it. Next up, we have Limo. This says owner, but he has a crown on his head, so we'll call him the king of the Scouse House. Number 26 in the draft ranking, and he has won the qualifier to get here today. His knockout record, he's made 1 quarterfinal, he's made 1 runner-up, and he's won it twice. He is after the 3-mo today. His key player is James Milner, and in the simulation kind of fancied his chances with 2 wins, 1 semi-final, 1 quarterfinal. Unfortunately, though, 1 bottom. United City. How do you think we're going to see 3-mo today?
I don't know whether it's an absolute guarantee, but it's a definite possibility. This is Limo doing Limo things. He will come in with his a setup that everybody knows. He's bought some players in that he thinks will be able to do that well. His record speaks for itself. A couple of wins, as you say, going for 3-mo today. It's a distinct possibility because he's tough to beat. I've had a lot of opportunities, a couple of opportunities to play him, and he's always really difficult. Is this his best version of what he's got in terms of being able to fit the players into a setup that we all know them? Potentially not, but he's really hard to beat. And he will go, I think he'll go reasonably far. Whether he'll 3-mo, time will tell.
Well, we shall see. We shall see indeed by the end of the stream. Next up, we have Stinger. And, we'll get to the point. Stinger is the eternal bridesmaid. I remember that graphic. It was very nice. He was the losing finalist in April, so he is the former best loser. In his record in this competition, he's made the quarterfinals once, made 2 semifinals, and he's finished second twice. Not quite able to push through and win that final game, unfortunately. Marco Verratti was his key player. However, in our simulation, he finished bottom of his group 5 times. Owen, this can't be a good sign at all, can it?
I wouldn't put too much faith in the simulations because I put Diz getting out of his group a couple of times. So I don't know. I wouldn't be too worried. I said it. He's got great solid picks, a lot of sleeper picks. There's no terrible picks in this draft. Other than maybe Dwight McNeil, which is a bit weird. Has a lot of game changers. Fekir, Verratti, Locatelli can lock it down in midfield. Dani Alves is unbelievable anywhere from midfield and defense, pretty much. I think he'll be thereabouts in the knockout stages. Might have the ability to knock someone out. I don't know if he'll make a final, but I think he'll be more than respectable in what he does, as he tends to do in every draft. might struggle for goals. Doesn't have a huge attacking lineup. But then the draft stip made it a bit difficult to draft a lot of good strikers because there's 12 people and there's not a lot of talent in 4 nations for grabbing goals in draft mode. So I think he'll be there or thereabouts. Might upset a couple of people, but I don't know if he'll make the big game.
Well, I hope. I guess with these simulations, it doesn't factor in the tactic that people are going to be using. So I do hope that he's able to, do something that the eye didn't think to do. Next up, though, we have my best friend Curty. In the FM rankings, he's ranked at number 13. Mrs. Curty's baby boy. He is the one and only winner of the Triple Crown. For those of you who don't know, the Triple Crown was the term dubbed for the Wasted Possession Tournament, the FM Playoffs, and the FM Super League. And Curty's the only one to have won all 3 of those competitions, so he means business. His knockout record is 1 quarterfinal, and obviously, in order to get that Triple Crown, he had to win it. His key player, much to my infuriation, is Neto, and in the simulation, I don't know how unlucky a man can be. He was the runner-up 6 times. Did not manage to cross the line in any of the simulations. He did finish in the semi-finals once, the quarterfinals once, and he finished bottom once. Tony, there's good signs in them simulation runs, and he obviously has a good record. Do you think that maybe he has what it takes to just get himself over the line that the AI might not be able to do?
100%. Like, nobody should be discounting Curty at all. Like, man knows exactly what he's doing. You said there at the start of his introduction, he's the only Triple Crown winner. You can't fluke that. And the draft pool is not the same draft pool every single time. So it's not like he's only got one tactic and 20 players that he likes. He's versatile. He knows how to battle. He knows how to grind results out. He knows the game in and out. He's got a lot of systems that he can pull in if needs be. Like if something's not working, he knows how to change it up. He can be a bit of a tweaker, which, can sometimes be a good thing or a bad thing. But I mean, let's face it. Curty is never on your list of people that you go, right, who's finished the bottom of the group? The word Curty never, ever leaves your lips. This is a man who's going to be here or hereabouts. I called it from the start, from the draft. I think, he's going to be deep in this competition again, okay? And I can see it.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. I really hope he does well. I'm not. I swear, I'm not being biased as the host. Anyway, we'll move on to the next competitor, which is Goofy Jord. He is ranked number 11 in the FM rankings. He is the Super League head honcho, and last time out, he was in the semi-finals, but he lost to Mozza. So, he can't be that good. Anyway, his knockout record so far is the quarterfinals and a semi-final appearance as well. His key player is Paul Pogba, and in the simulations he made 3 wins. He was the runner-up twice. He made 3 semi-finals and 1 quarterfinal, so a very, very strong simulation performance there. Kev, how do you rate his chances today?
It depends a little bit which Goofy Jord shows up in a way. From my experience, if he starts off well and rides that, then he could be potentially successful. He's got an interesting squad. The likes of Pogba being his chosen key player, I'm not sure about. I don't know if it's always as easy to get a tune out of him. He's also got the likes of Immobile in there who can be a bit hit and miss. But for me, the biggest down point for Goofy Jord is if he doesn't start well, he can get into his own head a little bit, make a few too many changes, potentially just get a little bit cross, maybe, and cause himself some problems. If he starts well, I think he could do okay. It's a mixed squad for me, but there is some potency in there. I like Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I think that whatever you think about Zuma's personal choices away from Football Manager, the game, I think he's very impactful from set pieces, etc. So there's possibilities there. It just depends which Goofy shows up.
Fair enough, and I agree about that. When he finds form, he's really good. It's just a case of finding it. And if he does find it, I think everyone might be in a little spot of bother. We move to Viking Dan, the number 1 ranked drafter in the world right now, reigning and defending playoffs champion. And he did it in his first one. This is his second appearance in the playoffs. He is undefeated in the playoffs with 6 wins and a draw. His key player today is Declan Rice, and in the simulations, he won 1, made the semi-finals 1 time, 2 quarterfinals, and 1 bottom. Now, Owen, I'm going to say Dan wasn't happy with the panel's, interpretation of the squad, the comments that were made, but it was definitely what I said. How do you rate his chances, though? Do you think that he is going to be able to do something today?
I back it. I think Tuesday you were just like a shower of Graham's finesses. Everybody was wrong. Paul Pogba was to blame. Everything was just negative. I do think it's not Dan's strongest draft. I'd probably disagree on his key player. I think he's got Gabriel Jesus up front, who I've seen Dan use once before, I believe, and he got a tune out of him. But he's difficult to get some results out of. He can play wide, he can play through the middle. I think it's him or DeMarco are probably his key players to get going, because DeMarco is very good at creating from out wide as well. His simulation was the second best simulation after Goofy Jordan, he qualified out in 9. Dan is the next one. He won it. He qualified the most, I think, after that. So he has a good, strong squad. Not the greatest firepower up front. It's more, I'm backing the man. Dan's my guy. He knows his stuff. He doesn't panic. And what he's better than most is when he sees something going wrong on the pitch, he just doesn't try and throw something at the wall and try something different. He knows what he's doing and where he's targeting and what hole he's trying to fix or exploit, depending on what he sees in the game. So I back Dan to come out of his group again.
Fair enough.
Can we just do the lasagna joke now that's being demanded in the chat from King
no,
John Dave?
No.
I'm just going to get my pen here and make some notes. So there you go.
I was gonna suggest
saving it. I'm very sorry about this.
I was gonna suggest saving it until he scored or something, but
he's not gonna get game.
Well, he got drafted. It's a possibility. It's probable. It's not probable, but it's possible. So
no, much like real lasagna, you'll forget about the last slice. It'll stay in the back of the fridge, and it's good the next day anyway. He'll get played when it's game over in the group. That's it.
Well, we'll see. We'll see if what game over means for Dan. Will it be he's already qualified, or will it be that he can't? We'll have to wait and see. But we are on to our final. We're on to number 12, and I have to say, probably the scariest person to draft against. Because of how good he can be. He's number 3 in the FM rankings. It's the handsome, faceless man, but we do have his face here. It's his 4th playoffs in a row because he keeps bloody qualifying for it. Please, give someone else a chance. His knockout record is 1 semi-final, 1 runner-up, and 1 massive dub. His key player is Conor Gallagher, apparently. And then the simulations, as pros of simulations don't know anything because he didn't win any of them. He's come second twice. He's had 1 semi-final appearance, 1 quarter-final appearance, and finished bottom 3 times, which is absolutely ludicrous to think about. It's GYRFM, or as I like to call him, Gurf. TJ, Tony Jameson. What more needs to be said?
All right, I'll tell you one thing that's going to be said. He's not going to finish bottom. That's for certain, okay? I'm going to make that bold prediction right now. The lasagna joke, Mrs. J, you're right. I've only got 1 joke. I can't write another one. I'm not on tour yet. Don't need to have a second joke just right now. He tends to be the favourite, doesn't he? He tends to be the favourite from day one. He knows what he's doing behind the scenes, tactics-wise. He's done so many guides. He's worked with Hood. They're the tag team champions. He's won most things he's entered. I think you just got to back him. Some people are looking at his draft thinking, well, there's some names in there that don't make sense. I said again myself, going Curtis Jones, Conor Gallagher. I'm not 100% sure, but I go, well, I'm sure he's going to work it out. Zagadou, I think personally, doesn't have enough acceleration for me as a centre half. I think John Stones is a decent enough centre half pick, but I think that he maybe could have got better. But again, the way that the draft pool worked, which I don't know if we've mentioned that, which was sort of paying homage to Le Tournoi, where you had 5 picks from England, 5 picks from Brazil, 5 picks from France, 5 picks from Italy in that order. So you had to draft specific nationalities in mind first. So he went for Stones early doors rather than leaving it to try and get another centre half from another country a bit later on. He's ended up, obviously, he's got Ben Yedder up front. I like Ben Yedder, lasagna. Is he past his best? Who knows? Eddie Nketiah, and he's got Firmino. Everyone says, can you get a tune out Firmino? I think Firmino and Hasamawa is a nice combination. Plus, Lucas Lavia and Fabinho. Two generations of Brazilian DMs right there. So yeah, I think it's going to be a good competition. And he's also got two goalkeepers who are fairly interchangeable. Some of the keepers we've got to go through, by the way, in this draft pool are horrific. There's some awful goalkeeper choices.
Limo, look at that poor old Limo son.
Limo, bust the net, Jack Butland.
The Jack Butland pick being so early, like 4th pick, was absolutely amazing. Anyway, we've gone through all our participants, so I guess we can show you what games are coming up first. If we transition, my microphone still works. Sorry, Evan.
I was gonna say, while you're doing that, make sure you check your microphone. So I was about to say, but you're there. It's okay.
I'd already done it. I'm learning. It's all every struggle is an opportunity to learn. Everyone, always remember.
You've
that.
learned a lot. You've learned a lot.
I've learned a lot. I've made some bloody good progress today. Anyway, in Group A, the fixtures that we have for you is FM Girl versus G Muzzer, Muzzer versus Goofy Jord, Stinger versus Viking Dan, Curty versus Bust the Net, GYR, or, Girth versus Limo. And our featured game, Sweet Left Foot versus Mr. Diz. Two pretty much best buds. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of exciting games to play. But I do have some breaking news. Unfortunately, Viking Dan has had to pull out. We've been working behind the scenes very rapidly to try and find someone to bring in his place, and we do have his replacement. We have one of the qualifiers who finished quite highly, but obviously didn't finish in those top 2 spots. We have Kozabob. Now, if we can all just look at the Viking Dan graphic and pretend it says Kozabob, we will be very, 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 very grateful. Wait till the day she's get hold of this story. Curty, if you leak it, I swear to God, I'll be fuming. Anyway, what do we make of Kozabob's chances? Kozabob's in. I love the guy, but he's playing a team that he didn't draft that we all thought was pretty bad, or at least I did. Maybe I'm talking for everybody.
I literally backed the squad about a minute and a half ago. You're like, well, that was terrible.
I just don't want to take all the blame. I just don't. If Dan's hating me, I want him to hate everybody else too.
I tell you what, it's one great voice replaces another great voice. I mean, if nothing else, listen to their stream for just the radio voice vibes. I think Kaza had a mad tactic in the qualifier, which was surprisingly effective. It took a while to get going, but he made a run in the last 4 games, and I think it was goal difference or maybe a point kept him out of qualifying. So it'll be interesting. Interesting to see how the other 11 people react to if he keeps the same crazy tactic.
We'll have to wait and see how he gets familiar. What about you, Kev? Obviously, this is a bit of a weird one. Last time it happened, somebody came in and took over someone's squad. It was Bad Lip Twitch, aka Z, taking over Wolfie's squad, and he may have knocked me out. I got FM though for definite and made it to the semi-final, I believe. So I mean, based off of that, Kev, there is a chance, isn't there? What do you think though?
There is always a chance, absolutely. I think it's unfortunate for Dan. Obviously, it's unfortunate for us not to see him as well. I think that the challenge for me is that he was one of the people that I was strongly backing, but I was backing him for him rather than his squad necessarily, as we've already talked about. And to change that, I don't know. It's a complete unknown in the mix now, isn't it? In that sense, as to what Kozabob is going to do with the particular group of players that Dan has gifted him ultimately, and how everybody, as has already been said, will cope with that. I think it changes the dynamic in this particular group a little bit. If I'm honest, I think Dan is a big presence, let alone anything of his tactical nous, etc. This is going to be an interesting one. I'm disappointed not to see Dan, but welcoming Kozabob, and I hope you do great in every way possible.
What about you, Tony? What about you?
I mean, I've been in this situation myself, in the Dan role, I should say. Sorry, like I had to be in the playoffs at one point, and then unfortunately my youngest had to go to hospital. In stepped Rich Owens. He had to play with my team. Now, Bob's in that same situation, okay? It doesn't matter how good Bob is as a drafter. If you don't know the players that you're coming in to work with, You've got to really work quick to find a tactic that's going to work. And the playoffs format doesn't allow you time to try a tactic, to work with something if you don't know the players inside out. You know, we've always said before, if you lose your first 2 games, you are up against it. You are pretty much out of the playoffs at this point. If we just have a quick run through Dan's team, I don't know if you can bring it up on your screen, Ali, but I can certainly go through it from the spreadsheet here. He's got Columbi in goal along with Mike Mannion. So keepers are okay, I think. He's got Rosier, Tamori, who I love as a centre half, Lewis Dunk, Romagnoli, Florenzi, Declan Rice, who I held my hands up and said at the time I wasn't sure that was the right pick when he knew Fabinho was coming, but I could be wrong. Brandon Williams, decent. DeMarco, decent. Arter, okay. Francis Coquelin, I mocked. Sensi is a good shout. Joelinton, who's probably box-to-box midfielder, I'm thinking. Madueke, Nkuku, I like. Pedrino, Tyson, Gabriel Jesus, Ajoke. That's, for me, that's where the question marks come, is those strikers. There's nobody who I'm instantly saying they will get their goals. Gabriel Jesus in the right tactic. I love Gabriel Jesus. But I've also used Gabriel Jesus in a tactic that just hasn't suited him, and I've not managed to get the best out of him. And I think to be in here with very, very little prep, I think it's a huge ask for Kosobob. I know Curtie's in the chat there saying Coquelin is quality. For me, Curtie, the pick just came completely out of left field because I'd even forgot that Francis Coquelin was a thing, quite frankly. And then I was like, Francis Coquelin? Where's he come from?
He's a great pick. He's a great utility pick.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. 31. You thought he was like 92 as well in the chat. I don't know. I think it's a solid, like, if you're coming in, you're getting someone else's draft. You see that and you go, okay, it's not a complete disaster. You know, there's a couple of these squads. I was like, you get the message saying, hey, do you want to take this person's squad over? You look at the squad and you're like, oh, I think I've got a migraine. You know?
Well, we are waiting for Kosobob to ready himself up. He's been called into action late in the day. I really hope it's not my fault that Dan left. He was just fuming with the takes. Could be that. Could be the auto pick. Who knows? Who knows what it is?
We have a couple of polls done while that chat was going on. So we threw up what we thought the chances were for a couple of competitors. We're still working through some of them, but one was, would it be King Curty or King Hurty? That was 100% in the favor of King Curty. No one thought that was going to go against it. Will FM Girls Madcap Tactics get her out of the group? 44% went not a hope. 33% said how could it fail, and 22% said in Andy Carroll we trust. And the other one was, will it be Trimo or will it be Has Bimo, which I'm quite proud of that pun. Has Bimo won 60 to 40%. So no one's back in Limo to relive the glory days of the earlier FM playoff wins. We're going to throw up a couple of more to keep it going. If you keep an eye on the polls, guys. I just got to think of some more funny puns that make me laugh. And that's the most important thing. It's not about you, it's all about me.
Well, I will transition us onto our featured match. Right, we're gonna wait to see if the microphone works this time. This is gonna be so tense every time we go for the switcheroo now. We're here, and is the mic working? It is. It is. I can see that the mic is working. This is our featured match for the first game. It is Mr. Diz, looking very inquisitive against Sweet Left Foot. Now, in their previous meetings, Sweet Left Foot has 1 win. Mr. Diz has 0. The last meeting was in the Streamer Showdown this year, and it was a 3-0 Sweet Left Foot win. Now, it's not a lot of data to go off, but it was quite a convincing win for Sweet Left Foot. I'll ask Kev, do you think it means much? Obviously, there's a lot of different circumstances, but this is the derby. We know they're good buddies. Who do you think that the sort of history behind this fixture means anything?
I think it can play into the sort of the mind games that are played during the game, depending on what's happening and how it's all working out for individuals. I think that could potentially have an impact in terms of the two sets of teams going up against each other in the tactics that the guys choose. Not so much. Sweet Left Foot is one of my dark horses for this particular tournament, just because I like some of what he drafted. I think there's some really good picks in there. So I would suggest I would go towards him for a win in the first game. But yeah, in terms of previous history having an impact, limited, but some, I guess, especially, as I say, just in terms of the banter between the two of them and what it can actually mean in terms of whether they make changes because of what others are saying and doing potentially.
Okay, cool. What about you, Owen? Who would you rather be here?
Who would I rather be? If we're going with squads, I'd like to have Sweet Left Foot's squad. I do think of the two of them, Diz will tend to panic less, despite that Harry picks whole streamer showdown situation. I think if Diz gets a goal early, Mike tends to do what I do, pause and be a tactic twitcher and change things up. And if that happens, you can end up kind of chasing the game and it gets away from you a bit. But it's really a coin toss. I think the first goal wins it, and in FM, it's not always the best team that gets the first goal. It could be a lucky corner. But yeah, if you're giving me either squad, I'd take Sweet Left Foot's squad. If he can get out of his own way, Sweet Left Foot wins it, I think.
How about you, Tony? I know both were pretty poor drafts by a lot of people's opinions, not just people who were on the panel. But I guess they'll obviously have the idea of what they're playing, which obviously we won't know. But based on what we do know, who do you think's going to make it through with the win here?
I think this has got bragging rights written all over it. Like, it's the showdown derby, okay? Diz probably isn't expected to win, okay? All the pressure's probably on Sweet Left Foot. So all Diz has got to do is go in, back his tactic, trust himself, and basically play Sweet Left Foot back at his own game. Yeah, Sweet Left Foot's probably going to be sitting there thinking, oh, this is going to be a nice, easy 3 points from the start. And I don't really think that's going to be how it's going to be. Like, I think that Diz, I mean, I'm just pulling his squad up again now, looking at what he's got compared to what Mike's got. You know what? Player for player, there's not a great deal of difference in the teams. I don't think, really. I think that Diz's midfield probably stacks up roughly against Sweet Left Foot. I mean, we joked about Sweet Left Foot getting M. Antonio, who we maybe thought was Mikel Antonio at the time, and it clearly wasn't. Diego Costa, Scamacca, Destro, Raspadori, Caputo, Dembele. Like, it's not massively out. I think if Diz starts aggressive, gets a couple of goals, what does Mike do at that point? Do you know what I mean? Like, because the idea for Mike is that he's going to take the lead early, and then he can sort of sit if he needs, or sort of like try to get Diz to come at him. Like, what happens if Diz takes the lead? How does Mike respond? I think that's where the pressure goes. The pressure's not on Diz at all. Like, Diz can just turn up, have fun, be big baller if he wants. Mike's got to win this. Otherwise, there's some questions being asked, because this group is tight.
This group is very tight. I wish I could give my opinion on the group, but OBS doesn't want to let me. We do have something else in for you, though, while we're, working around getting Kozabob in and everybody ready. I'll switch to the full screen here so we can see everybody very clearly. Our stats guy, Andrew, Statline WX in the chat, thank you very much, has provided us with some odds on the winner. Now, I'll run through these odds, and then I'll just open the floor to whatever you guys really want to talk about. I'll start from the top. So the full tournament winner, according to the odds, is Curti with 1-1 odds. We then have GYRFM 2-1, Goofy Jord 7-1, Mr. Diz 25-1, Limo 36-1, Stinger is 40-1, Sweet Left Foot is 110-1, and this is where it gets a little bit more out there. Mozza 660-1, Kozabob 1400-1, G Muzza 1800-1, Dalja is 2400-1, and last but not least, with odds far higher than Leicester, I'm pretty sure, winning the league when they did, FM Girl 3,300 to 1. I mean, according to the odds, there's gonna be some clear favourites. I'll open the floor. Anybody jump in? What do we make of some of those odds? Do we think that it's on the right lines, or do you think we could see any surprises today?
I mean, I'm not sure if you've just heard a car starting out on my microphone there, but that is the sound of people getting money and putting it on against the actual odds rather than the FM odds. Because we've said before, the FM odds can be wild and predict all over the place. And these are, of course, based on Andrew's stats from the actual data that real life throws out at you. And you know what? I would probably ask, where would you put your money? If you had £5, there you go. That's me off to the bookies right there now. Right? There's Diz getting in his car and going straight around going, oh, I should have had 1,000 to 1, but you know what? Let's go for it. If you got £5 in the chat, let me know where you're putting that.
I mean, where you put yours, Tony? I mean, for me, I said it's Gmoz at 1,800 to 1. I'm lumping 100 quid in that easy.
I mean, it makes the Grand National look like an absolute bargain at 40. He's done it. Like,
well, are we allowed to do multiple bids, like tactically? Because if that is the case, I'm definitely putting a couple quid on Alice.
You can't spread bet. That's not fair. Right? You've got £5 because it's all tap now. It's not even like cash, right? So £5. You know what? I'm going to stick it on. Oh, come on, Stinger. Come on, you've got to do it this time, surely.
We'll all feel really, really bad and sad if he gets knocked out again.
we definitely will, absolutely.
And pity is so much worse than people slating your team. I've been there, and it's like, well, my own keeps drafting. It's just pity is the worst.
It's an interesting thing, isn't it?
Tasty pity. Ooh, yum, yum.
It's interesting, isn't it, that we all have a slightly different take on some of these squads, etc., and how they're going to work out and what the strengths and weaknesses are. For me, if I'm allowed an each way bet, I would still chuck it on Sweet Left Foot. There's a lot that I liked in what he did, and some others didn't see the same that I saw. That's fine. His first pick from each of the 4 nations I thought was really strong. I think it was the likes of Reece James, Teo Hernandez, Barella, and I can't remember who the other one was.
He has Dimitri
Rafinha. And he's got Dimitri Payet. So I think, each way bet on Sweet Left Foot 110 to 1. I'd happily take that, I think.
I mean, we all thought Gmoz, at least on the sort of draft part of the show. Tony has disappeared. Maybe he has actually run off to the bookies.
Now it's my time to shine. Let's make some pasta puns, baby.
Well, we all thought Gmoz had the best draft, and he's currently here at 1,800 to 1. I would assume because there's a lack of stats for him because he's not been in. You did back Goofy George, but you just say things to be different, in my opinion. So, I don't know how reliable that is. But your camera's not here. Your camera's not here, but we can hear your voice.
We'll have there's a camera in your place that's taking up the thing. So unless you can kick that, Ali, double check you came in through the same link, Tony. That'll help you.
It's Rich Owens getting his own back.
Yeah. This is good. But in terms of when you're talking about the dark horses or the best draft, we did go through best drafts and we had a prediction.
There we go. That's better.
There we go. Among the staff, and I think everybody did pick Gmoz except for Ali. You also didn't pick Gmoz. You picked Mozza.
I picked Mozza had the best draft, but Gmoz to win it because Mozza is in fact.
This explains why you keep getting the hosting gig here.
Well, no, because I said the reason why Mozza's not going to win is because it's Mozza. So I think, if anything, this is the last time I'm going to be here. It's been an absolute pleasure to host, ladies, gentlemen, and everybody else. I'll see you all on the other side. Well, we're nearly there. We're nearly there, by the way.
Gmoz, as I said, he was my dark horse to win. I very nearly put him as my favorite to win. It was a phenomenal draft. Very few misses in it, if any, at all, to be honest with you.
Oh, we've had someone in the chat say, turn the camera off again, Tony.
I mean, Gangster Keith, that's a bit harsh, isn't it? He's right. He's right. It's the microphone we need turning off as well, to be honest.
Can you not hear Tony? Can you hear Tony now? I think you should be able to, right? Say hello.
Do you have to re-add me?
I can. Yeah, you're back.
No,
And
How
maybe
you can hear me?
maybe it's when the camera was. You are.
good.
You are. People can hear you. Maladin says no, which means that everyone can definitely hear you.
Exactly. Everyone else says it's fine.
Cheers, Maladin. Maladin just really enjoys opposite day.
Do you want
Go
do you
on,
want to
Tony.
decide what matches we're commentating on, just to segue in when we get going at some point, just so we can prep?
Well, you guys go. Obviously, we're taking the featured game, so I can keep an eye on that. And then obviously a couple of you take two, and then one of you can take one, if that's how we'd rather do it. Gives people a break.
That's some quality hosting there. Do you want to tell us what ones we're taking?
Hey, listen, this is
Your job is the one job you've got.
this is a you know, I'm giving you all the freedom to
Oh
know.
dear.
You almost said this is a democracy, but Mazza, when we signed our NDA contracts, literally said this
Right.
isn't a democracy. Don't try in that cutesy crap.
Listen, fine. If you wanted it, then we'll do it like that. So I think everyone takes one group A and one group B. So if Tony Jameson can take FM Gill versus G Mozza and Curti versus Buster Net, Owen, you take Mozza versus Goofy Jord and GYRFM versus Limo, and Kev, sorry. You can take the Stinger versus Kozabob and the Sweet Left Foot versus Mr. Diz, and we will have Sweet Left Foot versus Mr. Diz on our screens, and I shall move us to there now because they are very much ready. And I'll make sure that my mic's working. It is. Mashallah, we are making moves. Praise the Lord, I have officially learned. I will give his stream a cheeky reset so we are in sync and on time. Best of luck to all the participants. Let's go.
Indeed.
Game 1 is under away.
Right. Sorry, I've got FM Girls stream up. And who else? Sorry, Ali?
Let me go back to the fixtures. You've got FM Girl and Katie.
Curty, yeah, because I've already got Curty stream up as well here. So it looks like 4-1-3-2 for Curty, pretty much as predicted, I think. And Buster Net, strikerless tactic from Buster Net. I mean, if it's Curty versus Buster Net, I mean, I might as well get some food. We're going to be here for a while, aren't we? I think Curty's got knitting needles out. I think he's going to start. He can literally knit a jumper during the entire match here. So that's going to be quite interesting. And we are 23 seconds in, and Alice has already paused against G Muzzer. So,
when we have a goal, just shout that X streamer has scored for me. Just a reminder for everybody, so we can then have the audience know exactly what's going on.
Oh,
when it's
goal,
happening.
Limo. It's going. I can't have his offside. It's going to go to VAR. I don't think it's offside, but let's see. And Limo's gone to change his settings for his camera. Hold on. It's been disallowed. So.
we've got a penalty. Just
Penalty
waiting
who?
for the official confirmation of this. It's a penalty for Dalger. I don't know, a penalty for Curty, sorry. Darting straight through. Martinelli's running through, and he just gets kicked up a height. And who we got taking the penalty right now? It is Callum Wilson steps up. Hits it over the bar. He's missed it.
Goal for Mazza for Giroud. He's just after sending someone to the shops and banging one from about 20 yards. The world's slowest turn. Just the guy who goes into a slide tackle. I don't know what defender it was because the name didn't pop up. And he's after.
Goal for G Muzzer. So Kylian Mbappe opens the scoring. Tolisso picks the ball up in for Zaniolo. Lovely little ball through from Guilherme Arana. And Mbappe runs right behind the defender. The defender's got no idea where he is.
Goal
Joe
GYR.
Gomez. And Mbappe taps it in. 10 minutes played. Alice is already 1-0 down.
We also have a goal on the stream. Sweet Left Foot is 1-0 up against Mr. Diz, just as we would have predicted. It's Skamaka with the goal, a really well hit shot into the bottom corner.
GYR's gone one up. Ben Yedder picked up the ball in the box. Ooh.
Goal, Callum Wilson for Curty. Ball's just played in. So simple. Just classic Sunday League football. Nice little ball. That Sunday League's a little bit of a disrespect, to be honest. Pizzina, 1-2 with Wilson. Wilson then slips it for Kante, and Wilson just smashes it from the edge of the area. And surprisingly, Buster Net's goalkeeper gets nowhere near it.
What about what's happening with you, Kev? I thought I heard a goal shout.
Nope, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Half time, 2 highlights, 1 free kick, 1 corner kick. Nothing happened at all. We're at half time. They're making some changes.
Welcome to punditry, Kev. Welcome to the punditry.
Yeah. Immobile is just after round the keeper, but the angle's too tight and put it off the post. Mazza has immediately gone into his tactics. 18 minutes gone, he's starting to change. He's 1-0 up, putting on more of a press. I don't know why, because it was a very nothing highlight. Limo at halftime is making big changes here, 1-0 down. Richarlison's been moved to midfielder left. Limo shockingly is playing a 4-4-2 with 2 DMs. Hoi.
Goal, FM girl. Pellegrini pulls back 1-1. The ball goes down the wing, down that left-hand side. It's Lucas Digne plays the ball inside to Dan Burn.
Goal
Through for
GYR.
Rafinha, cuts to the byline, pulls it back. Pellegrini, 1-1.
Cresswell from the left.
And
He's already
also-
got a goal. He's hit it in. Bastoni's headed it in back post. 2-0 GYR against Limo.
And also, Dalgett heard that I called Phil Foden a fraud because Phil Foden has just equalised for Dalgett. So it's 1-1 in that game as well.
Very well, very well. How are we looking your end, Kev? Are we actually having any fun at all here?
They
2-1.
They have literally just kicked off the second half, so nothing's happened since you and I were together last. All I can tell you is that Stingers had more efforts at goal, but we have only had those 2 highlights. The second half has started with a highlight. Currently with Stinger, they're playing nicely around at the back. There's a through ball for Locatelli, and he puts it against the post. And then Bob gets it cleared and the highlight goes. So, yeah, nothing in terms of goals. A little bit of goal malfunction there.
Curtie went 2-1 up just as Kev started talking there. Corner came in. Pavard with a header at the near post. So Curtie is 2-1 up against Dalgett. We've played 27 minutes as FM
Goal!
reach
Bob.
Goal
Koza
for
Bob
Koza
scores.
Bob. Indeed, he did. Absolutely. Worked very nice ball in. And it was a fairly simple goal from the top of the 6-yard box from, I think, Sensi, potentially. It was played back out into midfield, a sweeping ball out wide left. Tomori out on the left-hand side, puts it into the near post. Sensi gets in it. Left hooks, hits it into the back of the net. 1-0 to Koza Bob.
Oh,
While that
Koza
happened,
Bob
GYR
Bowman.
picked up his 3rd goal. It was just a through ball to Ben Yedder, smashed it from the edge of the box.
We have a
past Limo's
penalty
keeper.
shout potentially on the stream. VAR is currently checking, and the penalty has been awarded to Mr. Diz. He's stepping up to take it. Let's see who it is going for the penalty. It's James Tavernier. You don't expect him to miss, and he doesn't. Mr. Diz has leveled up. Look at the look on Sweet Left Foot's face. He is not best pleased regarding that one. We're in the 38th minute only, and it is currently 1-1.
Oh, goal. Brian Crescente for Goofy Jord. It's an absolute mess of a goal. Short corner play to the front post. It's passed around. It hits about 9 bodies and goes in. Mazza was leading this game 1-0. 1 shot, 1 on target, a 0.12 goal difference. It's been all Goofy. Looked like he was going to wrap it, but it's a horrible goal from us, as I can see, too.
I think Alice has got a really interesting point at the moment. She's
It's a goal.
out.
Sweet Left Foot has gone into the lead. I'm very Sony. I'm very
Go
Sony.
on, go for it.
I'm very
Go for
sorry,
it.
Tony. It was such a good goal. I forgot how to talk. It's a really good ball from Payet into the box. It goes past everybody to find Rafinha, and Sweet Left Foot is back in the driver's seat. No one's allowed to mention Sony Tony ever again.
I'm Sony
Goal for Stinger. Berardi. Nice through ball. Berardi, I think, was onside. We'll probably get a VAR because everything's a VAR these days, isn't it? But in theory, a Serbi with a deep free kick. Fakir comes in, drops in deep, and Berardi takes over from the through ball. It wasn't offside at all. 1 goal from Stinger, 1-1 against Koza Bob.
Alice has just gone 2-1 down. To be fair, my point was really going to be that Alice is in a bit of a crossroads. She's an hour played. Both teams are level on stats, really, 15 shots each. Guilherme Moran has got the ball down the wing, pulls it over the top. Bruno Henrique brings it down wonderfully and curls it into the bottom corner. G Muzz has gone 2-1 up against Alice now, and now is a big test. What can Alice do at this point?
Mazza's wrapping this game. It's 2-1 up he's got. Even Mazza's gone the same colour as his hat. He's embarrassed. It's a free kick dipped over the top of the defence. Volleyed against the keeper. He makes a great save. Eddie Nketiah is there to pick up his rebound.
goal for Koza Bob.
Let's go.
He's not having the statistical advantage here. Stinger is all over him in every way, and then it's disallowed, unfortunately. Apologies for that. VAR gets involved.
Nah.
That's
Mazza
part
has-
of the commentator curse, isn't it, really?
Mazza
It was
has
just
3 shots
narrowly
in this game
offside.
versus 22, lads. It's outrageous, this game.
I think if
Any Liverpool fans can relate.
if Kev has a shout, everyone else has to just be quiet because Kev had
Oh
a
my
very boring
God.
first half.
Alex Telles is after scoring a volley from about 35 yards. It's a half volley. It's outrageous. It's a weird option to cross it from almost the byline back to halfway between the centre circle and the box, and he just hits it first time. Keeper should be doing better here. Oh, it's,
Oh, it's a
keeper as
goal.
well.
Alice has leveled. It's Dina and Rafinha partnering up again, but this time Dina plays the ball in from the byline, cuts it back. Rafinha volleys it in at the near post. 2-2, 10 minutes to play. Alice is delighted, and she's still got Andy Carroll as an option to bring off the bench.
Goal
I have a
GYR.
sending off.
Ooh, go for it.
Verratti got sent off for Stinger, double-footed lunging challenge at the top of his penalty box, outside the box. So it was only a free kick, but yeah, Stinger down to 10 men.
Stat of the day: Ben Yedder's got his 150th league goal with GYR's fourth goal of the game. Conor Gallagher, GYR's key player in his own mind, set him up. But we said if Ben Yedder got firing, he'd start winning games, and so far so good. 4-0 up against Limo.
He is rather dangerous.
Oh, Vinicius Junior's just gone wide. 5 minutes to go. The ball's played through. Alice's chatter going, Andy Carroll would have buried that. No, he wouldn't have. It was far too far out. But I like the idea. If it had been crossed, he'd have headed it in from 20 yards. But yeah, good chance, to be honest, to have won the match. So big questions. And a big man is coming on. Carroll's coming on now. It's going to be fine. 3-1 for Curtie as well, by the way. Sorry, Andy. Callum Wilson's just turned in a Kante shot from it with a header near post. We've got 25 minutes played there. 3-1 Curtie versus Busquets.
Chris will just
another
stitch him
goal.
on top corner.
It's another goal on the stream. It's on the stream. I'm jumbling on my words. It's 3-1 to Sweet Left Foot. Really good ball by the main man Erwin pointed out. Dimitri Payet into Skimaka. He wasn't going to miss.
Oh, I have 2 goals here. It's 6-0 to GYR in the other game, and Moz is after going 3-2 up. It was still an FM robbing completely. It's a long ball from Rabiot. The edge
All
of the
over
kick.
here.
And Jonathan Galano. Oh my God. Goofy George will be losing his mind with his keeper, who's not made a save this game.
Yeah, full-time whistle's gone in the FM Girl versus G Muzzer match as well. 2-2. Alice has shaded it 25 shots to 18, 13 on target as well, an XG of 3.35. Was that a chance to get off to a winning start? Who knows? But it's a great performance anyway. She's going to have to be happy with that. And Curtie has just had the ball cleared off the line. In fact, Dallas just had the ball cleared off the line. Curtie's still 3-1 up. I think
Mazza has robbed this game. 11 shots, 6 on target versus 33 shots for Goofy George. He wins 3-2. Limo's game, the parents are meeting early to try and call it off as a mercy killing. 6-0, that's going to finish, it looks like.
Well, we just had a goal disallowed from offside. Good call, good call. Solanke was offside, so I'm sure Tony Jameson is very happy that Solanke still remains goalless. But we've got 30 minutes left in this bad boy, and it's looking like Sweet Left Foot is going to be victorious. What was the final scores in the Stinger Koza Bob game, Kev?
It was 1-1. Stinger ruled the roost in most of the game, had like 2 or 3 times the shots at goal, much better XG. But the actual highlights themselves were fairly even. There was a chance at the end for Koza Bob. I think he hit the post, Sensi again, after going down to 10 men for Stinger. So there was a chance there for Koza Bob. Didn't quite take it. 1-1.
Fair enough. Well, is every other game finished at this point?
Oh, that was...
Yes.
Curtie's just had Grealish through. Lovely ball, one-on-one with the goalkeeper. And all he's got to do is tuck it in the bottom corner. Instead, he tries to, I'm presuming, hit it with the outside of his left foot to bend into the top corner, and it just ends up, you know, that little bit of the alley in the stands. It's just in there.
Fair enough.
5 minutes to go. You can afford to waste those sorts of chances when you're 3-1 up.
Well, interesting move from Sweet Left Foot. He's got Rafinha as the pressing forward. Only half a star, but he's on a 7.4 and he scored a goal. Skamaka obviously leading the way, 2 goals per minute, 9.6 rating, as it looks like he might actually be coming off, though, potentially. Rafinha, that is. He's gone for something different. We all said he didn't have 3 strikers. How is he going to play 3 strikers? You just play someone who isn't a striker there, I guess. Looks to be the
Yeah,
answer.
just put someone in that position. Dallas just had a goal disallowed, by the way. Benzema was. I waited for it. I looked at it. I was like, well, he's probably offside. Threw ball through. Keeper spilt it. Benzema then taps in. Yeah, the flag went straight up. And in fact, he's just bended the ball into the bottom corner. Danny Ings has now made it 3-2. We've got 1 minute plus stoppage time to go. Remember when I said this game was done and dusted?
Oh, it's a 4th one. Destro comes on as a sub. And he knocks one into the back of the net with his head. Really, really good ball. Reece James, one of the players that we all highlighted as being should probably be one of your earlier picks. Stick Piano on the draft show mentioned him being better than Trent, and with a ball in like that, I mean, maybe Stick Piano knows what he's on about.
I mean, he's also up against Diz's team, so let's not make him a world beater just yet.
I mean, we were talking about bragging rights. When I say we, I meant Tony, who's just disappeared. He's ruined the whole caveat that I was going to do now. So I'm fuming. As Bellingham goes close with the head. Well, the whole thing was, bragging rights, and I'll leave it open to either Kev or Owen. It's 4-1 to Sweet Left Foot.
I mean, what's the question? Is there bragging rights? Mike is.
How far can Mike go with these bragging rights? Surely there's got to be some form of forfeit. As Tavernier tackles Destro and Sweet Left Foot is celebrated. The win's already secured. He just wants the blood. He's got a red card out. James Tavernier has been sent off. And Sweet Left Foot is loving every single second of it. It's borderline evil the way he's celebrating, because it's the 84th minute. He's already won. The only thing that this does is Mud's diss for the remainder of his games. And he looks happier than I've ever seen him in my entire life.
I mean, nothing's worked for this. The goal he has was a penalty, right? What do you think, Kev?
It's kind of what I
5-1.
thought might happen. I mean, Mike is my dark horse for the whole thing, to be honest. I think I like a lot of what he's got. So it doesn't necessarily surprise me. But come on, it's Diz. Bless him. Love Diz.
I love Diz as well, but yeah, much like me, he's just like the commentary. Took me many drafts to realize that, but come over this side, Diz. You're good at this.
Well, it's 5-1 here now. Another goal for Sweet Left Foot. I mean, it's been an absolutely dominant performance. Everyone in Sweet Left Foot's chat during the draft was writing him off. I'd seen a lot of abuse. And even yesterday, with people who I know were in his community, were giving him a lot of abuse for his draft. He's 5-1 up, and he's got another highlight. It's 6-1. Hands are in the air. It is onside. Tony, you left just as I was about to caveat, so I'll do the caveat now. You were talking about bragging rights. Well, it's 6-1, Tony. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty braggy, isn't it? To be honest, I mean, what he's done is he's rang up Diz's family and just went, so I've just beaten Diz, and you might not want to speak to him ever again. And that's a shame, to be honest, really, because 6-1. I mean, Diz has got to turn this round now, and what? I don't even know where you go for the second match. Do you stick with the same tactic and hope that it's going to work?
Is it 7? No.
It is.
Keep us on a bet. Do you know what happened, Tony, while you were gone, though?
Donnarumma, Fraud FC is undefeated. Donnarumma goals.
Right.
Awful.
When I said Donnarumma was Fraud FC, Viking Dan and Curty, I know, were not happy with me. He's just let 7 in, so I'm feeling pretty vindicated right now.
And that one there was just, that doesn't matter how bad.
Nah.
That is bad
It's huge
goalkeeping.
for Mike. He's finishing 4th now.
I mean, it's full time there. It is 7-1 to Sweet Left Foot. At 4-1, Mike got Tavernier sent off. Mr. Diz's player, obviously, Tavernier. And Mike started celebrating even though it was a done deal. So I think that shows us everything we sort of need to know with regards to the rivalry, I suppose, between the two of them. I will be moving to the final results when we are ready. We're not quite ready with those just yet. I need to add Kozobob's lovely face to the graphics
Great
folder.
segue. While you're doing that and talking through what you're doing, maybe
Yeah.
what do we think of on
Stop
your
up,
games,
stop
guys?
up.
Do you want to? We didn't hear much from you, Kev, for the first 60 minutes of the 2 games. I sounded there wasn't much happening for a long time.
There really wasn't.
But it
It was
picked
a
up second
very,
half.
very. Yeah, it did absolutely. There was a couple more opportunities for chances. All the way through the game, Stinger was dominant in pretty much every statistic you could find during most of the game. But in highlight terms, it was fairly even. And there was, after that sending off from Verratti, later on, about 86th minute it was. So it wasn't a lot of time after that. But Kosobob did have a chance. And Sensi did, I think, hit the post on that occasion. And he could have taken the win. And I think it would have been slightly harsh on Stinger had that happened, purely for what the rest of the game had held. But yeah, first 60 minutes, not a lot happened. But it was good. There was some, when the highlights were there was some good, interesting play. And we'll see what both of the teams can do moving forward. But, Kosobob got a really, really good draw in a very tricky circumstance, as we've talked about before.
Well,
Big blow is Verratti, the key player, gone.
We do have the current results after game week 1. FM Girl 2, G Muzzer 2, Mozza 3, Goofy Jord 2, Stinger 1, Kosobob 1. The absolute mad lad coming in last second. Quite a tight looking Group A. And Group B is just the complete opposite. Katie 3, Busternet 2, GYRFM 6, Limo 0, and the best one, Sweet Left Foot 7, Mr. Did, and that fraud Donnarumma 1. Absolute amazing results in Group B. Do you think this has given us an early indication of who is making it out of Group B? We'll start with Tony Jameson. We've had 2 teams there just run riot.
Well, we say all the time, don't we? You can't go 2 games, like losing your first 2 games in this setup. So already you've got Limo and Des not just losing games, but losing huge goal differences as well. So the pressure is now on in match day 2 to go, right, got to start turning it around. I mean, GYR and Sweet Left Foot have got to be happy with that. They've got players in good form. We've all said about, morale manager in this sort of way we play here, because we do play with a database rather than just the actual draft format. So those things do take effect. Curti, again, of course, he's managed to get himself off to a victory as well. So Busternet has a thing to think about in match day 2. I think that's potentially how the league might finish in Group B, if I'm honest. The 3 that have got the wins are going to be the 3 that are going to be challenging towards the end. But we know that anything can happen and anything can change. But I think, yeah, if you get a win on match day 1, you've got to be happy.
Amazing.
Yeah,
go on, Owen.
There is some really interesting, in the games I was watching, some interesting stats. Like Mozza's, it's a massive win for him, a complete robbery. Like literally for the first half, he'd 1 shot, had a goal, was 1-0 up going in. Limo, on top of the 6-0, he also had, I'm not sure if he finished with 5 or 6. He definitely had 5 going into the 80th minute. So he has not done his morale any good, his goal difference any good. And if half his team pick up a yellow card in the second game, they're missing the third game. So he's really behind the 8 ball here. He's got a lot of work to do.
How about you, Kev? What do you make of Group B? And even Group A. We've not talked much about Group A. With how tight that is. That could be the more interesting one from the tactical side, whereas Group B is just got to be the absolute mad crazy one.
You'd suggest that after the first game, wouldn't you? Definitely. I think in terms of Group A, there's a couple of interesting things in there. FM Girl, we talked a little bit about not maybe having the best draft that there is, but she fought hard for a draw in the first game. That's not a bad situation against a team that potentially a lot of us thought had the best draft of the tournament so far. So I think that's a decent result for FM Girl. In terms of the second game on that list, the Mozza versus Goofy Jord, this is what I was talking a little bit about in the intro to some of these managers. What does Goofy now do? Goofy loses the first game, Can he steer clear out of his head and continue to focus on what he knows works for him and fine tune a little bit rather than just allowing it to get the better of him potentially? It's not the best start, but there's goals all over the place, isn't there? Even in the close games, there's plenty of goals around. And the other one, yeah, I mean, obviously GYR, Sweet Left Foot are going to be delighted with their start. Their opponents not so much. But Curti gets a win against Buster Net. And he's always tricky and always dangerous, isn't he? So just because of the big score lines in the other two, don't forget about Curti.
Can I also just point out as well, Jebru's given us a stat in the in game. Spinazzola in the last match got a 6.1, so he's probably due an injury just to try and get himself out of the next match. Also, interestingly, coming into match day 2, Mr. Diz has James Tavernier suspended, and Stinger has Verratti, who both of these players have identified as their key players.
Yeah.
So not only have they not had the results they want in match day 1, match day 2 now comes with additional pressure.
100%. Well, oh, sorry, Owen.
No, that's go. Yeah, you go.
Well, we were going to move on to the league table. I know it doesn't suggest much right now, but we do have it in here. Do we have my microphone? Yes, we do. Teams are about to get underway. Mozza is at the top of Group A, and then obviously that means George's at the bottom. Very open. Everyone has a point in between them. In terms of Group B, Sweet Left Foot, GYR, and Curti get the wins, whilst Buster Net, Mr. Diz, and Limo do not. We have lost Tony Jameson. The featured game for this match, we have decided, because he stepped in at such short notice, we'll have a look to see what Kozabob can do. Kozabob versus Mozza. I mean, look at him. And I guess if the moderators can just drop Kozabob's link to his Twitch channel, because he stepped in on literally like 3 seconds notice in order to be with us today and actually make the competition be playable. I don't really know what we would have done if he hadn't done that, so let's not think about it. We can definitely go with that. So what I suggest we do, because the games that are coming up right now, if I go onto the correct screen and switch it in the background to game week 2, we have G Mozza versus Stinger and Busternet versus GYRFM. Tony is back.
Tony, call out who gets what as you're going through it as well, just so we can load them up.
Yeah, we've got him in the Discord.
We'll go We'll go Kev taking those 2 games, G Mozza versus Stinger and Busternet versus GYRFM. We will go Goofy Jord and FM Gill, versus FM Gill, and Lima versus Sweet Left Foot. We shall pass that on to Tony Jameson and Owen. For this one, we've got the Kozabob Mozza game on screen, so, all you have to do is focus on that Mr. Diz versus Curti game. That sound like a plan?
Lovely. The lowdown derby.
The lowdown derby, indeed. Well, I swear the last one was the showdown derby. We can't just keep basing the derbies on the streamer showdown. I fear we might get some form of cease and desist.
the rage out derby then.
Let's just see what happens. All I'm saying is, if Sweet Left Foot beat Diz 7-1, Curti's scoring 20 goals this game. I don't care. Donnarumma the fraud, mate. Donnarumma the fraud. I do feel vindicated calling Donnarumma the fraud after the backlash I got from the chat when I said it.
Gimmick infringement. Fraud FC is my thing. Find your own team to be fraud.
Mate, as owner of Wasted Possession, I will take all of your ideas and repurpose them as my own. Anyway, we shall be on the Kozabob game. I'm really looking forward to see what Bob can do. And let's be honest, I know we all made our predictions on who we think is going to win, but we all want Kozabob to win today, right? He's come in and he's done us an absolute mad job by coming in here. I don't know about you guys. What do we want Kozabob to go all the way?
Yeah, of course we do. Like you've
After
come
Ellis,
in.
yeah.
He's up against it, as you say. He's got very limited knowledge of the squad that he's inheriting. He didn't know until about 20 minutes before we started the first match that he was even going to be managing. So yeah, of course he's coming in with the biggest disadvantage in the world. So if he pulls anything off, he's the actual hero of the day.
Roberto Di Matteo-esque with Chelsea that time in Champions League, basically.
Let's go. And then he comes back next playoffs and crashes and burns. Gets basically what Stinger got in the predictions, just constant bottom of the groups. Well, we're nearly ready. Kozabob's tactic as well, quite interesting. Having Segundo Volante and a deep line playmaker. I feel like that is probably going to be amazing, like in attack, but might leave him a bit exposed at the back at times. We'll have to wait and see.
You should have seen his tactic Tuesday. If you think that was exposed at the back, he played 3 centre backs, no wing backs or full backs, and 2 of the 3 centre backs were wide centre backs on attack. But like it was like playground tactics of, right, we've got the ball, kick as far as we can, everybody chase it down. Like
a classic year 3, year 4 derby sort of.
Did
fat kid left at the back.
Sorry, just to interrupt, boys. Did we go through how the table looks already at this stage after one match?
We did, Tony.
Yeah, sorry, it's just because obviously I've got Dalja up on screen now, and just when you see a group that has Mozza FM Girl, you go, what? And what's gone wrong there? But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I mean, yeah, Bust the Net and Stinger, I'm gonna be here for a while.
Yeah, we did go through the table, but we did it quite quickly because after the first game, it doesn't really tell us much, does it?
No, of course not. And having said that, looking at Stinger's formation, I mean, wow, this is out there. I was talking to Stinger earlier on in the week, and he was sort of saying he had a new tactic in mind for the tournament, and I'm just waiting for it coming back around again so we can have a second look at it. Bust the Net's already changed to a 4-3-3 instead of that strikerless formation. But I'm just waiting to pull Stinger's tactic up here, and I'm going to get my fingers out, right? So he's got 4 defenders, 1-2-2-1, possibly, maybe a 4-3-3. I'm not really sure. It's brilliant, is what it is. But yeah, if you don't like slightly asymmetric stuff, it's going to make your face bleed.
All right, cool. We'll peep that. We'll peep that at some point. We are having the team talks.
I'm now confused as to which games I'm following because I thought I was doing Stinger from what Alistair said, but Tony's doing Stinger. So
okay.
Somebody make a choice and send me in the right direction.
That's fine. Don't worry. I'll jump out. You stay where you are.
So we'll have Kev taking G Mozza versus Stinger, and Bust the Net versus GYR. Tony has Goofy George versus FM Girl, and Lima versus Sweet Left Foot. And
goal 1-0, Mr. Diz in a turn up for the Bucks with a dink. It is an absolute filthy finish from Cunha.
How does Curti live this down?
It's a great ball and takes down his chest, beats the defense, and just dinks over the keeper. Unbelievable goal, to be fair.
Fair enough. Well, we've kicked off here in the Kozabob versus Mozza game. It's going to confuse me because the name at the top still says Viking Dan. We can't change that at this point, unfortunately, but I'll do my best to not make any errors.
And what's been quite handy as well is, even though I've not been watching the Limo and Sweet Left Foot game, they're 35 minutes in and it's still 0-0. So it doesn't actually look like I've missed too much right now. So that's fine. Although it does look like Mike's on the attack right now.
Goal for G Mozza against Stinger from Tammy Abraham. Good work on the right, a good interception by Stinger, but then it pass backs to the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper clears into midfield. Mozza wins the ball back, gets it over the top for Abraham. Back of the net, no problems. 1-0 to G Mozza.
Massive news here. We're passing 25-minute mark and Spinazzola is still on the pitch. Just picked up a yellow card.
He throws a curveball, gets suspended rather than injured. Amazing. Amazing. No one saw that coming.
Can't get injured if I'm suspended. Brilliant thinking.
They're still training, to be fair. Tyson's gone in. Kozabob has scored. He's 1-0 up in the 30th minute. Tyson with a bloody banger into the top right corner, cutting in from that left-hand side.
And Goofy Jord.
Kozabob could go all the way. Let's see what's happened in the Goofy Jord match.
Yeah, Goofy Jord takes the lead against FM Girl. Little bit of movement in the midfield. Pogba, Calvert-Lewin and Vinicius playing the ball around. Rodrigo's out wide. Inside to Pogba, who plays a defence-splitting pass. And Immobile tucks it in the bottom corner. 1-0. And again, Alice hasn't been outplayed. It's still 5 shots each, so she's naturally a bit disappointed as Sweet Left Foot takes the lead against Limo. Hernandez down the line, cuts it back. Rafinha brings it down, has so much space, and then smashes it into the roof of the net.
Penalty for G Muzza converted by Mbappe, and he goes 2-0 up over Stinger. The other game that I'm following is at 0-0 at half time.
Oh my God.
We have a goal on the stream. Viking Dan, not Viking Dan, Kozabab and Mozza are now level. It's a good ball through by Rabiot into Andrea Bellotti. Passes it back to Ismaili, finds Olivier Giroud, and Olivier Giroud scores with his feet. I'm not sure I've ever seen that before, but it's 1-1.
Beautiful, beautiful feet though, right?
Oh, chance here for Curry, 1-on-1. It's a goal.
Oh, it's a goal.
I've seen this after scoring. Unbelievable. Great through
it's
ball.
A goal for Goofy George. Poor Alice. The balls work from a throw-in. They're checking it actually on VAR. It is going to be given. There's a throw-in. The ball's played to Alex Tellez, who passes it to Rodrigo. Rodrigo cuts it all the way to the back post. Pogba then lays it down to Dodo, who takes an effort off the post. And sadly, Calvert-Lewin just has an empty goal to tap into to make it 2-0. Alice is distraught.
Goal for G Muzza. They're checking it for VAR, disallowed. It was a ball over the top for Mbappe to run onto, but he was just straight offside. It is in the end disallowed. Still 2-0 to Muzza.
Amazing. Goals everywhere. Very active game. How about the other game? Are we still 0-0 in the other game you're following, Kev?
Yes, absolutely. Bust the Net and GYR in the 50-something minute, about 58th minute, something like that. But yeah, 0-0. Very few chances in that one. I haven't been drawn to it too often in terms of my eye line. So yeah, not a lot happening in that one. Stinger and Muzza, a few more highlight pieces in there, but Stinger looks a little bit frustrated at the moment.
Yeah, it's half time.
Very relaxed. That's like one.
I was going to say it's half time in this Limo Sweet Left Foot game. Mike looks so relaxed. So relaxed.
Chance Curry. I think it's going to be called back offside. It's a free kick headed down to the striker. I think the striker's offside here. It's gone to VAR. Just unbelievable.
Goal for GYR. 1-0 up over Bust the Net. A corner kick into the near post. We've all seen the near post header before. I didn't actually catch who the goal scorer was, but it has been given 1-0 to GYR over Bust the Net.
Goal has been awarded. It's Diz 2-1 up against Curty. It's a well-worked free kick. Unbelievable. Ibanez heads it down to Raspadori.
2-0 goal for GYR for Sweet Left Foot. Sorry, defenders are appealing for offside, and drum roll, it's disallowed.
We have a
Sorry
goal
about that for interrupting. I thought we had a second goal there.
We have a goal here in the Kozabab versus Mozza game. It's Andrea Bellotti who puts Mozza in. The goal kick finds its way to Lucas Paqueta, Olivier Giroud. Beautiful through ball, splits the defense, and Bellotti could have got a bit closer, but decides to hit it from range, and he manages to put Mozza in the lead on the brink of half time. It's 2-1 to Bossman.
It's 2-1. Alice has the comeback, potentially. Lacroix to Alexander Arnold, to Pellegrini, to Rafinha, to Digne. Guess who's going to get on the end of it? Nobody. Digne, top corner. Andy Carroll comes on. 2-1 down.
Goal! Bust the Net from Danny Ings. Good cross in from the right, the right to the top of the box. Little through ball. Ings gets in, cuts it across the goalkeeper. 1-1 for Bust the Net and GYR.
Goal, Sweet Left Foot, 2-0 as well. He takes the lead against Limo and doubles it. Ball's played in. Solanke, not the goal scorer, of course, provider this time, plays the ball inside to Skamaka, who goes round the goalkeeper. 2-0. It's too easy. It's too easy
goal for G Muzza. Stinger's not having a good time. Mbappe is ruling the roost. They are checking this one again. It was a through ball. Goal awarded this time. It was Zaniolo on the ball. Drives forward into the space, gets to the top of the box, pokes it through, Mbappe runs on, and it is 3-0 to G Muzza over Stinger.
Lads, this is all Mr. Diz in this game, a 2-1 up. If he had anyone who could finish the ball, like Moussa Dembele is putting a performance here to put him potentially into fraud.
Goal for FM Girl. Dele Alli has brought it back to 2-2. Trent Alexander-Arnold's down the wing, cuts the ball across. Dele Alli with the volley. Goofy Jord is now wondering what on earth he's going to do.
Alice has been telling me how wrong I am for doubting her in Discord and has said I am winning this today. So it's looking like that sort of confidence and drive has really started to shine through as she's mounting the comeback.
I might have to give gifted subs here for Spinazzola not getting injured, which I made on Drafts and Crafts. If he doesn't go off injured soon.
What was the bet exactly? Cousin
needed to
Bob,
play-
hold the phone. Hold the phone. Cousin Bob has equalized. Gabriel Jesus has managed to find the ball. I'm not quite sure how, but it's 2-2 in the Cousin Bob versus Mozza game now.
Diz is the ball in Curdy's net again, but I'm 99% sure it's offside. It's all Diz here. It's got to be there. Both Curdy and Diz take us off and it's called back, yeah. He is all over Curdy, but it feels like he's going to get FM'd here horribly.
3-0, sweet left foot, and it's my man Dominic Solanke with the goal at the back post.
Was that your sub bet?
I never gave any sub bets. I'm not stupid. I just said he was a bad player. But yeah, if I had said that, I'd be gifting a sub out now. Ball's played in from Hernandez, and nobody's getting anywhere near Solanke because why would you mark him? And he's actually scored a goal to make it 3-0.
Oh, not like this. Curtis just after dinking a ball off the crossbar. Oh, I don't know wide.
What do we do if Des beats Curty? Because I'm honestly not sure.
It's a 50-50 game at the moment. I mean my words, humble pie here. Diz is playing it well. He's not. He's
Two
settling down.
goals. I got 2 goals for you. One from Stinger, pulling one back for 3-1 at exactly the same time. Buster Net gets a goal. Couldn't tell you who either goal scorer was. Was confused by the fact that there were 2 happening at the same time. But it's now 3-1 to G Muzza, and Buster Net is 2-1 up over GYR.
That's mad. Buster Net, we all thought his draft wasn't particularly great. I think it's fair to say, and he's beat the scariest man in FM draft competitions. Not by he looks like such a gentleman, but when you play him in a draft, it's rough.
Oh, it's 2-2. Curty, Zaccaggini, the ball was cut out from across, and the defender just left it for Zaccaggini to take it off his toe inside the 6-yard box and smash it home. It's an FMing. It's going to be a bit of an FMing, it feels like.
Oh, Goofy George, so unhappy that he hasn't scored there. The ball's gone through. Immobiles went round the goalkeeper, dinked it up over him into what looked like an empty net, but the defender gets back and clears it off the line. That could have been a goal, and Limo has just had a goal disallowed in the sweet left foot match, so any consolation goal is gone.
That goal, in the Curty game, the replay actually showed it again. He wasn't tackled the defender. He played a back pass that the defender ran onto and it was 4 yards out. It was an outrageous. Oh my God, Miles has done poor Diz dirty, and Diz doesn't need any help.
Tiago Colette has been summoned by the referee.
Goal!
It's
Goal, FM girl. She's done it. 95th minute.
Come on, Alice.
It's
for
a throw in. Andy Carroll with the flick on to Martial inside to Dele Alli, who plays it to Pellegrini. Pellegrini just let Martial go. She lets him go, tucks it in the bottom corner. 3-2 Alice against Goofy Shaw. This one's over, surely.
Buster Net 3-1 up. Ings with a second goal for him, or third goal for him. I can't even find that out. I think it might be a hat-trick from Ings, maybe. But he's got 3 goals, 3-1 up over GYR. And G Muzza has beaten Stinger 3-1.
Foden is injured, apparently, in the Buster Net game as well, according to the chat. There's a critical player gone for Buster Net.
Unfortunately, well, we've just had Mozza receive a red card in the 91st minute of the game here on the featured game on the stream. Mozza's making his tactical adjustments. Cousin Bob looks very cool, though. He's got a nice Hawaiian shirt on, it must be said.
Oh, Diz is going to Diz himself.
Ball for Limo. Consolation, 93rd minute. Vardy, nothing more else to really say, to be honest. Alice has got the rave on because she's got her 3 points. She's away. She's having a great time. But yeah, good ball at the top for Vardy, who tucks in the bottom corner. So Mike's now conceded a goal in the tournament. That's interesting. But yeah, lots of goals for at this point.
We're all finished here 2-2 in the Diz Curty game. Probably a fair enough result in the end, but it's a defensive nightmare that gave the 4th goal to Curty. Playing a Brazilian box as well, which didn't seem to do that much controlling the midfield for something that's basically the only thing it does.
Funny you should mention Brazilian box, given the stipulation. Brazil, one of the featured nations of this tournoi. Obviously, the nations here is England, France, Italy, and Brazil for this draft pool.
Ali, I wasn't in the draft, but apparently you all gifted subs because Alice won a game. Do you? Was there a bet?
I did not make a bet. I don't believe.
Gangster Keith is calling for it.
Well, Gangster Keith can forget
Ooh.
it.
Ooh.
I mean, he's got gangster in his name. You don't want to be
I'm not afraid. I'm
taking
not
him
afraid.
on.
He doesn't know where I live. Only Maladin does. Oh, we'll see. In the last minute, we've got a late highlight here. It's Rabiot on the left wing. Interesting, Mozza. Belotti. Oh, he's been brought down. Is Tomori getting sent off? No, Tomori's getting a yellow. I don't know if this is just an end of the game highlight. James Ward-Prowse is on the free kick. He's the man that you'd want on there, at least. And he's taking his time setting up. It's going to be the last opportunity of the game. He's just stood there. It's almost as though he's waiting for the whistle to go. Bob does not look comfortable. Lorenzo Luca can't find the ball. Maybe be able to get something out. No, he's passed it back. If I was Mozza, I'd be fuming here. We've still not had the full time. We've had the full time whistle there. Are we finished in all the other games?
Yep, for me.
I believe so.
Solid. Well, we will transition to the 4-box whilst I get the graphics for game week 2 ready.
The sub bet was from Hood, who is currently on the Stag in Cardiff and is going to be gutted to find out he has lost some money here. Apparently,
I don't know anyone gifted subs. I know how these drafts could go. There is absolutely no way I am putting.
You're frightened of entertainment. Frightened of entertainment.
I'm frightened of bankruptcy, Owen. If I made bets on every audacious claim that I ever made, I would be seriously just done out here. Anyway, we shall go to the final results for game week 2. We have G Muzza 3, Stinger 1, Goofy Jord 2, FM Girl 3. We have Cozza Bob 2, Mozza 2. We have Buster Net 3, GYRFM 1, Limo 1, Sweet Left Foot 3. And in the final game that we're giving you, we have Mr. Diz 2, Curty 2. Now, we shall give it a little switcheroo to the league tables as they're now taking shape. In Group A, we have 3, all on 4 points. We have G Muzza, Mozza, and FM Girl occupying the first 3 spots, with G Muzza at a top spot based on the goal difference. Cozza Bob, after 2 draws, sits in 4th. Stinger has a draw and a loss to put him into 5th, and Goofy Jord lost 2 of his opening games. A proper mountain to climb right now in Group A. In terms of Group B, the only person to have won both games so far this competition is Sweet Left Foot. He's top with 6 points. Curty is in 2nd with 4. GYRFM, after a shock loss, let's be honest, because he doesn't lose very often, in 3rd. The person who beats him, Buster Net, is in 4th, just 3 goals lower than GYR. Mr. Diz is in 5th with 1 point, and Limo, much like Goofy Jord, in that very, very difficult space, has that mountain to climb in bottom of the table. I will bring it to Kev first because he's my favourite here. How do you think about these? What do you think about the tables generally? How they're shaping up? Do you want to make any audacious claims on who's going to go through, who will not?
No. Still far too early.
Any gifted subs? No.
No. What I would say is G Muzza has looked really good in that last game. Really dominated the chances, intercepted the ball a lot, and countered very quickly through Mbappe. He is making me look silly because I made him out to be one of the bad picks for this particular draft because I thought it was too much money for somebody I didn't know whether it was consistent enough, but he seems to be showing up in that particular match. On the other side of things, Sweet Left Foot, he's my dark horse. I did think this guy has got a lot about his squad. I like that. But it's still too early to tell. We've seen a couple of those early games in Group B, specifically in the first game week, where they had big scorelines, and not everybody is now sitting on 6 points, are they? It can change really quickly.
Indeed it can. Indeed it can. How about you, Tony? Are you any more likely to make an audacious claim on what we're going to see here, and just general thoughts on how this table is starting to take shape?
I mean, I can make several audacious claims, but none of them are going to be backed up with money because I have children to feed. And
See,
Mrs. J
it's not just me, Gangster Keith. It's not just me.
you know what I mean? Mrs. J will do me in if I say, "Oh, I'll tell you what we'll do. Well, let's give some money away." No, let's not do that. You know what? I'm still not eating my words on the Solanke goal either. I think it was terrible marking. He's only got one goal. It's fine. Yeah, not massively surprised at how the groups are looking right now. I think we all said that Muzza and Mozza had good squads and we'd expect them to be up there or thereabouts. We thought that Sweet Left Foot would be okay. I said Kurt would be fine. Diz and Limo struggling. Stinger struggling. George struggling is maybe a bit of a surprise. I mean, Bob's come in, to be honest, and he's steadying the ship. 2 draws. If he can just draw his way, I think he'll be happy with that. Like he's going to come in with no idea of what his team is. Alice has got herself off the mark with a win. I told you that those sort of the way that she can play will throw up surprise results, and that will throw the groups around. Again, I said she wouldn't finish bottom, and I said Mr. Diz wouldn't finish bottom. And at the minute, both of those predictions are coming true. So at that point, I'm going to pass over and see if anyone else is going to try and sort of top me up. I'm waiting to get some stats. As well. I think we've got a little bit of breaking news that potentially Jebber's put in the chat that Foden is injured and Kunde. Getting a clarification on John Stones, and we're also trying to get some goal scorer stats. I think Jebber is sorting for you in a little bit, Ali.
I'm going to jump in here and say it's pretty good predictions, Tony, but I think I am basically golden. Group A, I picked Mazza as my overall winner. I picked Muzz as my dark horse. I was the only one who said I think FM Girl will be thereabouts to get out of the group. Sweet Left Foot kind of screwed me over for Group B, but I had said Curty, GYO were going to come out. Limo as my third person wasn't the best pick looking at the moment. But other than Limo, who let's call a spade, he's only let himself down. Really. And he's capable of winning 3 on the bounce to get out of there. I'm looking pretty good on my predictions as well. Mm-hmm. I wasn't buying the hype of actually I think Goofy George won the draft. Maybe he's a bit of a surprise, but other than that, I think it's pretty good.
My bad. I forgot that we have goal scorer stats. I'll readily admit that. So we will shift to those now that the table is taking shape. So at the top, Danny Ings for Dalgit has 4 goals.
Got a hat trick.
That is very true. He did bag a hat trick. Skamaka as well bagged 2, and maybe a hat trick in the first game. He definitely scored 2 in that first game that was featured. Koundé with 3 goals, a little bit surprising. G Muzza has really annoyed me by playing Mbappe and not Bruno Enrique, but he has scored 3 goals, so maybe he has a point. Destro also has 3 goals. We have Aaron Cresswell with 6. I assume the free kicks came through. Callum Wilson is on there for Curti, and we also have Berardi for Stinger as well. Quite interesting.
That's interesting, I think, looking at where we've got with the top goal scorer. So Stinger's got 2 players on the top goal scoring list, yet is currently sat near the bottom of his group. So that's more of an issue with his defence, yet Koundé is scoring his goals and not helping defend, really, which is quite an interesting one. Skamaka, I think, is great that he's got 3 goals for Sweet Left Foot. Again, it was a player that I identified in the... Okay, well, so we're going to make this up, right? Skamaka scored 3, but possibly more or less. We don't know. Ings may have scored 4, could be more or less. What we'll do, I'll cover you back for a second, Ali. I'm going to talk about some other stats instead that have come through. Cool. This is the current injury list. Right now, we haven't got this to show on screen, I don't think, but these are the players that are out so far. Phil Foden pulled calf muscle 5 to 10 days, so that's one of Buster Net's players gone. His first overall pick is out. Felipe is out with a pulled hamstring. Lucas Verissimo is out for a day with a tight thigh. Piscina out for 1 to 4 days. That's one of Curtis' players with a pulled hamstring. Grealish is also out for a day. Castrovilli out with a broken jaw. Don't know what's happened there. And Ketcher is out with a gashed upper leg. Romagnoli is out with a bruised ankle. Acerbi is out for 2 weeks with a pulled hamstring. Who's got Acerbi? I'm just going to try and find that on the...
I'll get on that while you're...
That's Stinger.
Yeah.
Stinger and Lafont, the goalkeeper. We've said about drafting goalkeepers, do you get a backup goalkeeper in? Everyone's like, no, we don't need a backup goalkeeper. Oh my, Limo is delighted that he has drafted Fraser Forster as a backup because otherwise he'd be with a grayed out goalkeeper. We also have suspensions as well. Diego Carletto is out for Mozza. Guillermo Arano is out for Muzza. Nordi Makwele is out for Limo. Spinazzola for Mr. Diz. And
Come on.
An injury.
Bakayoko for Bust the Net. A suspension this time, not an injury, sadly.
Yeah, but that works for me. He's got. As I said, if he played it like over 60% of the game time in the groups, so I'm doing well here.
He's also booked a weekend water skiing, so he's going to break his leg during that. So.
Well, we do have the fixture list. But before we get into that, I suppose we should mention who is in our featured match. We're going to give it to G Muzza versus Goofy Jord. This is the first time these two have met in a ranked competition. Jord has... in the Triple Crown, sorry. Jord has 0 wins so far in this tournament. And G Muzza, obviously, did rather well, won the qualifier. So, he qualified. I think he finished second in the qualifier, amazingly enough. So we shall have a look at the games that we have in store for you. We have FM Girl versus Kaza Bob. I don't know who to support in that one, if I'm being perfectly honest. And we have Curti versus Sweet Left Foot. We'll have Owen covering both of those games. We'll have G Muzza and Goofy Jord playing against each other. And from Group B, we have GYRFM versus Mr. Diz. Tony, you're the only one who's not taken the one game so far, so you can have the honour of calling what I really hope will be an absolute goal fest, purely on GYR's part. You can take that. And that leaves Muzza versus Stinger and Limo versus Busternet, which should be two absolutely cracking games. And games have already kicked off. I did not have notification for it. Kev, you'll be taking Muzza versus Stinger and Limo versus Busternet. And ironically enough, we've already seen a goal in this one. I mean... We are on Muzza's stream. I'm really annoyed that he's got player names on show, but it is 1-0 to Goofy Jord.
Goal.
Through ball from Rodrigo to
Scamacca.
Jadon Sancho.
Sweet Left Foot's gone 1-0 up against Curti. It's a bit of football tennis heading around the box. Gamaka pops up and heads into the corner. Early doors 1-0 up versus Curti, who's went down. This is the third game in a row, I believe he's gone down. It's a great header from Solanke, who's played well to get it. A terrible cross. He's headed all the way back across the 6-yard box. And Scamacca, who's a beanpole, nods it in.
Well, how are we looking in the other games? I assume we're loading up. Hopefully not a lot's happened just yet.
Yeah, 17 minutes in, Mr. Diz is still 0-0 with GYR. Huge shout out, by the way, to Summer Says for a whole bunch of gifted subs in there. That's absolutely awesome. Thank you so much for that, Summer.
The Irish are generous folk. So I'm going to be gifting subs to Diz because of goddamn Spinazzola.
26 minutes in, Diz still hasn't conceded. I mean, it's looking ominous, though.
How are we looking in at your games, Kev?
Well, I'm looking at two streamers. I haven't seen any action yet in any of the games.
Curti's not happy here. 14 minutes in.
Oh, goal for GYR.
Oh,
Sorry, Owen.
no, sorry, there was nothing there. Gabriel Jesus is after scoring in the other game. Bob goes 1-0 up against FM Girl. Cross came in. One of our defenders met it full on the volley. And it looks like, I don't know if he got a head on it or whether it hit him in the face, but Gabriel Jesus has managed to steer it into the goals. Didn't know much about it.
Oh, Tavernier and Bonucci just basically gift Ben Yedder the goal. Ball. Tavernier knocks it inside. Some people criticize Bonucci. He dwells on it a little bit too much. Ben Yedder then just nicks it off him, tucks him in the bottom corner. What I am liking about this match so far is Diz's kits are very, very Man United, and GYR's look very much like Norwich. So it looks quite a nice sort of screen to watch, is what I'm going to say with.
I'd love to say so, we expect Manchester United to dominate Norwich, but in recent history, we're not sure. As it's 2-0 now, off the corner, Alex Tellez whips the ball in, and it's Kurt Zuma. I'm pretty sure Goofy Jord's favourite player to draft on the head. Puts him 2-0 up. We're in the 40th minute. Maybe Jack gets his first win of the day here, but is it too little too late? I'm not sure.
Goal for Busternet over Limo. I think it was Pedro, I want to say, that got himself some space in the penalty box. Ings put the ball into him, curled a far post shot into the far corner, and it's 1-0 to Busternet.
Alice is in the mud, 2-0 down. Gabriel Jesus knew a lot more about this one as he rifles home across. And a penalty shout in the Curti game. It looks like the ref has gone to VAR. I think he's going to give this. It looks like it's on the edge of the box. I think it's inside. We're waiting on the VAR call. Penalty awarded.
Just while you think about that, it is 2-0 GYR as well. Serrano has got to the byline. GYR has got to the byline, cut it back. Serrano tucks in the bottom corner. It's too easy. But Diz is looking around going, how do I fix this? And with a double Mazzala and double shadow striker and a striker, I don't know is the answer, Diz.
Dimitri Payet slots home the penalty to make it 2-0. And Curty has timed adverts on, which is a really bad time to see if I can get his reaction. But it's all sweet left foot at the moment. 2-0 here.
Well, we've just had some fair few changes from G Muzza in the featured game to try and maybe pull one back, and he does have the highlight now. Toliso's in a bit of space. Zaniolo from range, and he scores it in. Are we going to see the Zaniolo graphic that G Muzza has? He's not got it now. It's a bit more serious because he's still 2-1 down, but he has thundered one in from outside of the box. I think the keeper should have done better there, but I'm sure G Muzza will absolutely take it 100% every day.
Goal for Stinger. Corner kick routine. Short corner taken. Eventually cross comes in. Locatelli puts it away. 1-0 Stinger over Mozza.
Big goal for Stinger.
And Mozza's, I mean, we thought he maybe got a little bit lucky in his first game against Goofy Jord, and now he's a goal down against Stinger, who the simulations didn't think would do particularly well.
Goal. Curdy pulls them back. Baraghi to Martinelli. Again, near post, volleyed home. This is end to end all of a sudden. Mike, who was dancing, smiling, having the time of his life, very worried looking all of a sudden at 2-1 up. Oh, don't do it, Mike. Yeah. Don't do it, Mike. Don't do it, Mike. You can see him thinking. Sorry.
We're half time in the Diz GYR match. And although Diz is 2-0 down, he's not really out of it. GYR hasn't really been as free flowing as you'd expect given his previous matches. The stats are slightly more in GYR's favor. Diz has just gone through his halftime team talk, basically just said sort it out and sent everyone straight back out. So I get the impression that they've only had a 3-minute
It's
half-time.
Another goal for Goofy Jord in our featured game today, and it's Cristante from range thundering one in to the top corner. Really, really well worked routine for Jack there in the 49th minute. As soon as the second half's kicked off, we had Rodrigo on the wing. Alex Tellez, who seems to be pulling all the strings, finds Dodo. The ball deflects off Zaniolo. Calvert-Lewin picks it up though, who then rockets it into the top left corner. Ramsdale had absolutely no chance for Muzza. It's 3-1 to Goofy Jord.
We're 55 minutes into the Alice Kazabob game. He's had 3 shots on target. Or 3 shots, 2 on target. He's 2-0 up, and Alice is freaking out. She's trying to change it up now, but she's dominating the game. Just her keeper is a fraud. Goal in the other game. The Ox is after scoring. First sweet left foot. He had gone to his tactic screen. Chat spams. Don't panic. Don't change anything. He didn't change anything. The Ox after smashing one home to make it 3-1. Everyone's happy again.
How are we looking in your games, Kev? I've noticed you've been rather quiet for a short while.
It has been. They've been making lots of changes. There's a highlight ongoing just at the moment between Limo and Bust the Net. It's one of those you have it, we have it, you have it, we it type of highlights. At the moment, it's gone long from the goalkeeper from Limo. Sorry, he's through on goal. Neres, goalkeeper saves it. It's still 1-0 to Stinger against Mozza and 1-0 to Bust the Net over Limo.
Goal for GYR, 3-0 against Mr. Diz. Ball comes in from Rongier and it's tucked in by Ben Yedder. And at this point, Diz is asking on his screen in massive capital letters, Tony, am I still replacing Rich? So
not with a performance like this, son. Not with a performance like this.
You could replace Tony, though.
Exactly.
Oh, well. Seems as I do feel bad for Kev here because he seems to be getting all the games that don't have any action in them.
It's all right. I'm like a rabbit in the headlights, really, so it's fine. I'm doing my best.
Oh, Dodo's through for Goofy Jord, and he puts it away. It's Dodo's first goal of the competition. It looks like he's on an inverted wing-back role because he made the run quite centrally. DCL, being the big meaty man that he is, holding up the play really, really well for Dodo to make the run through. He doesn't hold it. He passes it first time, so just ignore that. But it is 4-1 in Goofy Jord's
it's a
favour.
throw-in routine goal here for sweet left foot. Barella crosses it. Solanke pops up again with another header, having the game of his life here. Solanke, Tony. Any comments?
Goal for
no.
Limo, 1-1. Brilliant interception by Vardy in his own half. Ran pretty much 2/3 of the length of the pitch and eventually puts the ball in. I think it's Gerson that puts it away. At the same time, in the other game, Moza has seemingly pulled a goal back. I'm just waiting for clarification from VAR if there's ever an issue there. There doesn't seem to be back host header, I think, from Chouameni, maybe, that gets Moza back in. Both 1-1 in both of my games.
I say.
I'll tell you what, Ben Yedder's been absolutely tearing it up here for GYR. He's just gone close again. Conor Gallagher bursting down the wing. Diz's defender tried to get a foot in, but Gallagher just sidesteps him, puts the ball through to the near post. Ben Yedder, good block from Bonucci, created a corner, but thankfully for Mr. Diz, he conceded again. The long ball up. The keeper, Donnarumma, comes out for it. He's one-on-one with Ben Yedder. Donnarumma then stops. And Ben Yedder sort of goes, do I dink it over him or do I try and take the shot? He took the shot straight at Donnarumma, save for a corner. Diz survives slightly. If you're 3-0 down, can you survive?
Big result here.
Goal for Limo. Goal for Limo. Corner comes in. Henderson with the near post header into the back of the net for Limo. 2-1. The Moza Stinger game finishes 1-1.
Yeah, it's over here with FM Girl, Bob 2-0. Bit of an FMing, but Alice is fuming. She tried everything. She threw on long distance shooting. Nothing came of it. Dominated the game in the stats, but couldn't put it in. We've written out a howler in goals.
4-0 GYR. Free kick comes in onto the head of Bastoni at the back post. Diz has got his best in the world t-shirt on at the minute, and I think he's maybe regretting that choice. But Mark Noble's coming on. Mark Noble is coming on. Breaking news.
Diz is hoping for 5 penalties here. Just
He's given up.
Ball in.
He's given up.
GYR coming in solid for Tony previously when Owen was asking him to have his opinion on Dominic Solanke. But now there's we're still here with the Goofy Jord and G Muzza game. It's 4-1 in Goofy Jord's favour. Muzza's trying to make some changes. The sort of statistics
goal for Daljet. Bust the net, gets a second goal for 2-2 here. We're only in the 66th minute. There's still plenty of time in this one. Through ball from Ings, I think it was, onto again João Pedro, working wonders for Daljet. And they come back against Limo 2-2 with about 25 minutes to go.
Amazing. Which game was that? Sorry, the Daljet.
This Limo Bust the net.
Cool. I will get that stream.
Solanke sent someone to the shops and it's a goal for Dimitri Payet. He absolutely sent someone to the shops inside the box, crossed it. Keeper tried to block the cross, drops it to Payet in the 6-yard box. It's 5-1. We said it yesterday. Did you want to see a sweet left foot? He's either dominating or getting destroyed in leagues, and so far it's all good. Curdy is fuming.
Oh, I would not like to meet an angry Curty.
You don't want any Curtis dead.
It's another goal. It's another goal.
Say that.
I just need to watch myself around him as Owen seems to be lagging a little bit. We've got a 4-2 here. Muzza's pulled one back. Bruno Enrique manages to find Tolisso with the ball. A pick that I didn't rate, but that thunderous left foot is potentially a saving grace here as Owen has departed us temporarily.
Shot for Mr. Diz. That's it.
Goal
That's literally it.
for Limo. Limo 3-2 up. Good interception by his players halfway back down the pitch, but a right-sided run from Neres eventually gets into a position for a cross, puts it on a sixpence into the box. The goalkeeper and defender made a bit of a hash of it, and Vardy's there to poach a goal. 3-2 for Limo. We're in the 80th minute, 10 minutes to play.
It's a goal here as well. It's another goal for G Muzza. 89th minute, Turan manages to find it find a way to get it to the back of the net. Goofy Jord instantly pausing. He's going to go fully defensive, but can we see G Muzza pull something back? If George
goal, Mr. Diz.
He'll be fuming.
It's a consolation, but it's something. The ball's played through from Anthony. Capuccio runs onto it. It's a little bit forced. I know we joked on saying we cheered a shot for him in this half. That's literally all there's really been. But brilliant ball through. Caputo finishes it with aplomb. You know what? It's a goal. That's fine. 4-1 rather than 4-0.
We're just coming to the last 5 minutes of the Curty sweet left foot. Chance for Curty. And it's saved comfortably by Meslier. We said it was a risk to have him in goals. He seems to be playing well this game. Mike is doing nothing but laughing. He's not even talking on the stream anymore. He's having such a good time. He's got into hysterics of laughter.
I bet he feels vindicated because all of his chat were telling him how awful a draft it was. I was talking to Henry FM last night, and don't forget the underscore. Actually, I shouldn't do that. He'll get very cross. But he was talking how bad Mike's draft was and how he's not even going to win a game. So for Mike to have not only won his first game 7-1, but to be continuously, seeming to pick up wins, fair play, mate. Fair play.
It's finished. Curty won, Sweetler foot 5 with goal difference. Mike is effectively through, I would say. He can be caught in points, but he's got such a colossal goal difference. It's looking. He's still laughing. I don't think he said a word since. I wish I hadn't muted the stream because I want to know what the joke is.
End of the game here. Limo eventually beats Busternet 3-2. Lots of incident in the second half. Lots of goal opportunities. 3-2 to Limo.
We've also seen the end of the game here at the same time. 4-3 to Goofy Jord. I do feel a bit sorry for G-Muzzer because some of those goals maybe perhaps potentially could have gone either way. But I'm sure Goofy Jord will take that as first win. How are the other games looking around the grounds? Is there anything we can maybe take a look at while we wait for everything to finish?
I think that's the finish now.
Yeah, we're all finished here. Diz is in the car and going home. He's just
yeah, Alice is fuming as well. She's got robbed of a result there.
Fair enough.
Gabriel Jesus has gone to hospital after blocking a clearance with his chest to score a goal. Didn't know anything about it.
We shall have a look at what those results were then. In Group A, we have FM Girl 0, Cozza Bob 2, Goofy, G-Muzzer 3, Goofy Jord 4. Quite a good game to have as our featured, I must say. Highest goals of this game week. Mozza 1, Stinger 1. I think Mozza's had his fair share of the luck so far today by the sounds of what my esteemed colleagues have told me. In Group B, we have Curty 1, Sweet Left Foot 4. We have GYR FM 4, Mr. Diz 1. I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh. I'm sorry, Diz. And in the final game that we're bringing you an update on, in Group B, Limo 3, Bust the Net 2. What does this mean for the league tables? The man who came out when we needed him most, he kind of looks a little bit like Jesus with short hair as well. So the narrative is there. It's Cozza Bob top of the table. And he's on top based on a goal difference. He has one more goal over Muzzer, who is also on 5 points in second. We have G-Muzzer and FM Girl on 4 points, with G-Muzzer ahead on goal difference. Goofy Jord picking up his first win on 3 points. And Stinger on 2 points. This is a very, very important next game for Stinger. If he does not win, he is out. In Group B, we have Sweet Left Foot dominating. He's won 3 of 3, the only player to be undefeated thus far on 9 points. Not undefeated, sorry, to have won all of his games. I should phrase it better. GYR FM is in second spot with 6 points. Curty holds third place on 4. Busternet and Limo, they're both on 3 points, but Busternet's goal difference is 0 and Limo's is on -7. So it's got to be a bit of a hill to climb if Limo wants to rely on goal difference in order to get through. We'll see how things shape up. And we also have Mr. Diz sat there on 1 point. What do we make of that, gentlemen? We'll start with Kev.
Oh, Group A, incredibly tight, isn't it? All 6 of them have still got so many opportunities. Stinger sitting at the bottom of the table. I've seen him play a couple of times this afternoon. Hasn't looked amazing so far. Hasn't got a win yet. 2 draws, but it's anybody's still. A couple of good results in the next 2 matches can make anybody qualify from that one. The other one, it's all about Sweet Left Foot. He's going great guns. Goal difference of +11. 3 wins out of 3 so far, looking really good. And poor Mr. Diz.
Poor Mr. Diz, indeed.
Yeah, to jump on that, Group A is outrageous. I'm gonna correct you, Ali. You shouldn't do math because Sweet Left Foot, not Sweet Left, Stinger can still lose and potentially go through.
I have a degree in finance, so I think I'm correct.
Yeah, and we know how the banks never get their sums wrong historically.
Fair enough. Good point. Good
Yeah.
point. Carry on.
Yeah, you'd make a great Enron type character. No, it's
I mean, I've
predominantly-
got a master's degree in film production. My camera's dropped out twice, so
like the potential in that group is phenomenal. You've got Mazza, who loves the bottle, Goofy George, who's a good mentor, comeback story. Like it's all to play for there. All the action is in that group, really. Mr. Diz still alive, but a long shot. Like he needs a Disney style story arc of Air Bud or one of these great classic movies. And like we said, just Mike undefeated, effectively true goal difference. It's unlikely to be toppled. But the shock for me really is Mike. Like I did not think Mike was going to do this well at all. I'm eating words there.
Neither did Mike, by the looks of his stream yesterday and on Tuesday. What about you, Tony? Sorry.
I mean, the groups really for me aren't any different to what I'm expecting, apart from the fact that Bob is just settled into Dan's system perfectly. I mean, would this have been how Dan played? Possibly. We can only really speculate and say, yeah, okay, fair enough. If that was the situation, then understandably as to why Dan was a bit knocked that some of the panel were criticizing his team. But it's a hell of a turnout for Bob. Mozza and Muzza up there battling away. Stinger, I mean, if he's going to be battling to stay in the actual tournament this match and next match, that's a worry. Diz, I still don't think he'll finish bottom of the group, but he needs something. He needs something quick. Sweet Left Foot, 3 for 3. We've got a stat from our stat guy, Andrew, here, who says that they've only ever had one perfect playoff group stage. That was a Mega Luke in season 3, January 9th, 2022. Can Mike, the other twin, do that? There would be an arc right there, wouldn't it? We'd love it. Goal scorers have been updated, apparently. We also have some breaking news from injuries. Jack Grealish out for 2 to 4 weeks with shin splints, not those beautiful calves. It's the front part of his leg that are injured for Curtis. So that's a big issue for how he plays, because he is a big fan of Grealish, of course. And the current suspensions list is as follows: Diego Carlos for Sweet Left Foot, Lucas Verissimo for Bust the Net, Jordan Henderson for Limo, David Neres for Limo, Kunde for Stinger, and Chris Smalling for Goofy Geord.
Well, we can take a
It's
look.
interesting to see as well that we have seen. Go on. Sorry.
I was gonna change it.
I was just saying it's interesting to see with the.
Owen's
While
turn.
you're doing that, I was going to say that it is interesting to see that we have seen people come off the bottom of the groups as well. Both Limo and Goofy got the wins to get them off the bottom, and now look like they're in a position to really make a run at the rest of the table. So momentum it's massive coming into the last 2 games. Those guys have got their wins, because especially Limo, he'd gotten a bad beating in the first game and a tough loss in the second game.
Well, we have the goal scorers updated now. I've had the confirmation from our very own Jebaroo. Lovely, lovely gentleman is our Jeb. Danny Ings is still number 1 on 4 goals, but he's also sharing that spot with Skamaka and Ben Yedder. Those players play for Busternet, Sweet Left Foot, and GYRFM respectively. We have Jesus, Mbappe, and Destro all on 3 goals. Bob has Jesus, Dream Buzzer has Mbappe, and Sweet Left Foot appearing here twice has Destro. And then the last 2, both defenders, Alessandro Bastoni and Aaron Cresswell, both have 2 goals, both playing for GYRFM. Does that give us some indication of how GYRFM's trying to set up? We've got someone like Cresswell, notorious for free kicks, managing to get 2 goals and make the top scorers list, and the centre-back Bastoni. Is it pretty safe to assume that he's making maximum usage off of all these corners and that? We'll open it to anyone who feels like speaking on this one.
It seemed that way in the last match against Diz, to be honest. Ben Yedder looks, and I know people have mixed feelings with Ben Yedder. He's either unplayable or anonymous. Against Diz, he was unplayable. He was all over the place. And I think looking at his goals right now, he's getting in, he's getting the goals that need to be scored to help GYR through, because the system plays to his strengths. Bastoni, get the ball to the back post from a free kick. He's going to win that header all day long. And as you say, Cresswell can pop one in from distance as well. So this is the thing with a lot of these tacticians, and we see it every single month, that the players that are coming in, the managers that are coming in, are better every single month. They're not just better at picking out players and identifying who is the right player for a system, because they're already working on a better system. They're working on better set pieces. They're working on what they need to do. And yeah, you just think you get the system worked out. You've then got to remember, you've also got to work out how to counteract the set pieces as well. And GYR is, as you say, yeah, getting the best out of what he's got in that scenario, I feel.
To jump on that, game one, I watched GYR where he demolished Limo, and like an early candidate for MVP was Cresswell. He stitched a free kick from the right hand side of the pitch to the top bins. He also got an assist for a Bastoni header and a Ben Yedder header as well. So everything Cresswell touched was causing absolute confusion. He was whipping in dangerous balls. There was also a disallowed goal in that game that came from a Cresswell cross. So he was on fire. Like Cresswell, by far in that game, nearly every highlight, the 6 goals, either started with him or finished with him putting the ball in someone's head. So top pick.
It's definitely something that I don't pay enough attention to in my own drafting. Is I pay enough attention to who's going to be on the end of things and who might be the big meaty man to put the ball in the back of the net from corners, etc. Not always drafting with the knowledge of who am I going to get to deliver them. And it is really important because, as we've seen, it can make a huge difference.
Yeah, absolutely. We've also just got a little bit of confirmation as well that, although we're saying that Stinger can maybe go out in the next 2 matches, he can also go as high as 3rd if he wins this next match as well. So it's not all doom and gloom for Stinger at the moment, if of course results go his way.
Well, we do have the game week 4 fixtures here. We have got ourselves in Group A, Muzza versus Muzza. Let's have Tony take those games along with the Busternet versus Mr. Diz game from Group B. We'll have Kev take the GYRFM versus Sweet Left Foot game, as our featured game this week will be Stinger versus FM Girl, and that leaves Owen with the Kozabob versus Goofy Jord game and the Limo versus Curti game. Now, as I am updating the featured game graphic, let me know what you think the outcomes will be, Tony, of that particular game in Group A, Muzza versus Muzza, the Tsar Derby.
The Tsar Derby. I think, you know what? These guys wouldn't be against playing for a draw. I think they are both starting pretty well. I think a draw is going to be good enough for them to see them through. I think that Muzza is very happy with how he's set up. I think he has his system in mind. He knows exactly what he's going to be doing. And he can't really complain with that, to be honest. I know he once was a joke of the FM draft pool, the same as myself. He's managed to put a bit of respect on his own name here, which we're loving, obviously, after last year. And I think Muzza is just living up to the hype. You know, he came in with a great bit of hype off the back of the draft. Everyone's going, my God, this is the best draft we've seen of this pool. And you know what? He's taken it and ran with it. So I think it's going to be a fantastic match. And genuinely, I wouldn't be surprised if it does end a draw here.
Well, we shall have a look at the featured game for this week. It is Stinger versus FM Girl. Now, they've played each other once, and that was in the April playoffs. So only a couple months back, and it was a 5-2 win for Stinger. But today, Alice, to everyone's surprise, has showed a little bit of form. Could potentially be going through.
I'm not having this hate. I'm not having this hate. I backs my girl.
Nah. You definitely didn't, Owen. And Stinger obviously being very poor form. Tony has his hand up. Tony.
Breaking news from Jebaru. I think he's wanting to rub my face in it ever so slightly. Like, he wants to sort of make me make a public apology at this point. I think average ratings have come through so far in the game. Top of the game is Dominic Solanke with an average rating of 8.33. I don't know what he brings to the game, to be honest. Skamaka is 8.27. Sweet Left Foot also has Dominic Paye in the top 3, 8.23. Alex Telles for Goofy Jord is 7.93, as is the Cat Kicker at 7.8. That's your top 5. 4 assists as well for Goofy for Dominic Solanke. So again, I mean, you know, if that's the sort of thing you want in your team, then fine. But for me, not really that interested. personally, but yeah.
I will say Alex Telles has probably got the goal of the tournament for the games I've watched as well, with a volley from 30 plus yards, like up there. Like it's a lot of defenders across that, and Slanky, which is an odd one, but apparently it might be a cheat code.
Well, we are nearly ready to go. We are just waiting for a couple of people. So just to remind you of the games, Mozza is here playing against G Muzza in Group A, and Busternet versus Mr. Diz is happening in Group B. Those games will be brought to you by our very own funny man, Tony Jameson. We have Stinger versus FM Girl from Group A, which will be our featured game. It will be the one we're showing on stream. And the other game, all sort of in that row, is GYRFM versus Sweet Left Foot, which our Kev will be bringing to you. A fantastic performance on your debut, by the way, Kev.
Has...
And in the...
Thanks for that.
Cheers, man. And the other games that we're bringing you is Koza Bob versus Goofy Jord and Limo versus Curti, which How We Roll Owen is going to be taking charge of. You were making a point on Limo?
Limo has got 2 suspensions. Yeah, 2 suspensions and injury. I can't see the third one because he just scrolled away from it. But the keeper we talked about, Adam Lafont, being injured. But Jordan Henderson is out suspended for this game. He also has 7 yellow cards. 4 people starting with yellow cards. So Limo's games have been nothing but yellow cards and sending offs. So he's only got half a bench here. He's got this was 6 of the 9 on the bench. Not many options though. A lot of Jordan Henderson is a massive loss from in his engine room.
Yeah, Limo's team chooses violence, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, the games are going in. We shall transition and bring you the featured game. I'm really excited to watch Alice's game because I was pretty mean in my with my words regarding everything she did on Thursday. So we'll have a go. But best of luck to all the competitors. And yeah, when something interesting happens, you know what to do, lads. Let's go. Busternet
has brought out yet another change of formation. So Diz is obviously looking at that going, right, okay, he's not gone striker, he's actually gone, it's a 4-3-1-2, I think. So Diz has gone into a diamond formation, which was different to his 4-2-2-2-1. And Diz has taken the lead, but there's a question mark over it. Less than 60 seconds in, they're going to VAR for a potential offside. I think it might be, to be honest. Goal's given! Diz takes the lead against Busternet.
Let's go.
Well, it's interesting here in this game as well. Stinger is playing a Chirby despite him having a knock. So I don't know if he has much faith in the bench that he's drafted. We'll have to wait and see. Oh no, it's an early slide from Trent Alexander-Arnold in the 8th minute. Alice is down to 10 men, head in hands. She's looked away from the screen. She's going quite red. She is very not pleased. She's been mudded from the get-go.
Am I guessing that Trent Alexander is also going quite red, is he?
He has got a good pun, Owen. She's
thank you
making the appropriate changes. I don't know what she's got to do. This was a game that she really could have won.
VAR call here for Koza Bob. I believe it's going to be called back for offside, but the ball is distinct to the back post, and Maduke is headed in. It's goal awarded. It looks offside to me, but no. Goal awarded. Goofy Jord is not happy.
Interesting tactic.
Goal shout here for Sweet Left Foot, but I'm not sure whether it's going to be given or not. We'll go to a VAR in a second. Skamaka gets put over the top on the run through from a good ball in from Barella. He is onside. It was a very good half volley. It is going to be 1-0 to Sweet Left Foot over GYR Skamaka.
It's a very, very interesting tactic in the Tsar derby. They've both essentially put it onto the
penalty
fastest
shout.
They can possibly get through. No highlights in the first half at all. Between the two teams, Mozza has an XG of 0.36 and Muzza has an XG of 0.97.
Penalty award here. Joel Linton is taking down the corner box. It's a red card for Paul Pogba as well. What happened to double jeopardy? What's going on?
Goofy Jord's key player, Paul Pogba.
The Gibraltar referees don't know the rules. They're
goal for Dalgett
and sending someone off.
Robin Lenormand with a header from the near post. Corner worked very, very nicely. And now we have to see what Mr. Diz can come up with as he there's a man on the post who should do better, to be honest with that. But yeah, 1-1 now. See what
goal. Sweet Left Foot. 2-0 off a corner kick. Header in from Concert. He's 2-0 up over GWR after 8 minutes.
Oh, it's an own goal. Curtis 1-0 up in the Limo game. Ball whipped into the box from a corner. Defender tries to control it and it goes past the keeper. It is a shocking, shocking goal.
It's a goal for Alice! Alice has scored! Alice has done it! She's down to 10 men. Doesn't bloody matter. First shot of the game. Insigne slides one in to Rafinha. No, it's the other way around. I'm too giddy. I'm too excited. Rafinha goes all the way to the line, just outside of the 6-yard box, cuts it back to Insigne, and Alice scores. Down to 10 men. Alice has got a goal. Let's go.
Daljit's just gone wide as well.
Curtis potentially made it 2. It's gone to VAR again. I didn't get a chance to see it because I'm still waiting on the penalty to be taken in the other game. I think what the boys goal disallowed in the Curtis game. I don't know if the boys know they have it paused. Oh, it's Goofy George didn't realise he's paused.
He realised.
He knew. He's just playing the mind games.
Yeah.
Gabriel Jesus. It's saved!
Oh, great save.
Wow.
Great save. Daljit's just cut Mr. Diz wide open, and a fantastic stop from Donnarumma to keep Diz in the match. So that could be a huge turning point for this match for him. We're
half time here. Alice has had 1 shot and she scored it. The Stinger's had 8. Weatherton is having a brilliant game. He's on a 7.8. If I was Stinger, I'd be
goal for Sweet Left Foot. It's just an absolute rout. 35 minutes in, 3-0 up for Sweet Left Foot. It's a real good counter-attacking move. It was a brilliant interception in his own penalty box by Payet, and he put the ball down the left-hand side for Rafinha. Eventually, the ball goes in. Scamacca sends it on again, and it's Solanke. 3-0 for Sweet Left Foot.
We just saw a keeper come out. The ball was running through. No one around him. He just volleyed it on the fly up the pitch. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen in Football Manager. The world's longest highlights go back and forth here. It looks like another chance for Viking Dan.
Viking Dan?
You mean
ball through. Camavinga 2-1, Mr. Diz. He's taking the lead against Buster Nets. This 4-4-2 diamond suits Mr. Diz's tactic much better than what he was playing before this narrow sort of 4-2-2-2-2. And to be fair, he's got himself nice and regrouped, ball over the top from Bellingham. Camavinga goes on the charge and puts it past the keeper. It's 2-1 Mr. Diz. 5 minutes in the second half still to go.
Goofy George has leveled it up. It's 1-1 with 10 men. Calvert-Lewin was played through by Mobley and he smashed it in top right corner.
Jeez. It's all kicking off here.
And now Goofy George is stuck with the tactics.
It's a red card for Stinger this time. Marco Verratti has been sent off. I've just been told to not shout because I'm peeking and I've done
He's
it
only
again.
back from suspension.
He's only just back from suspension.
He's only back from suspension.
He slides in, he's sent off. We're down to 10 men for both teams here, which Alice, probably amazing for. She is stealing the result here. She's 1-0 up and now back on level terms in terms of man.
There's also a beautiful irony as well that it's Verratti that's done that, because we griefed Alice for having Verratti in her pick the last time and Verratti cost her. So for Verratti to get sent off, that's huge for the narrative, right?
Limo has equalised. It's Vardy. It is James Vardy goal, as you can think happened. Ball's played up the pitch. It's a slide through ball pass, beautiful from Milner. We criticised the pick, and Vardy just smashed the pass.
Is that the Lima versus Katie game, right? That's who's playing in that one.
Correct.
Let's go.
Another goal for Sweet Left Foot potentially here. We will again go to the VAR, but Scamacca with a fairly long-range shot along the floor past the goalkeeper. 4-0. They are checking it just at the moment, and it is disallowed, unfortunately. It was very, very narrow on the offside decision, but it is still 3-0 to Sweet Left Foot.
We had a highlight in the Tsar derby. Chouameni played the ball through for Ismaili, went one-on-one with the goalkeeper and put the ball out for a throw-in. As we've got a goal for Buster Net.
We have a goal in the featured game as well.
Go and talk first.
Guiri has put it level here. It's 1-1 between FM Gill and Stinger. Stinger couldn't buy a goal when he had the numbers advantage, but now he's at a red. It's fine.
Daljit's goal disallowed. Still 2-1 for Mr. Diz.
Still 2-1. Jeez. Mr. Diz is winning a game.
Yeah, and he's only had 8 shots as well. Daljit's had 14.
Clinical. Oh, Berardi's through for Stinger, and he skied it. Oh my god, I thought that was a guaranteed goal, so I got ahead of myself.
World-class save here for Limo. Limo's keeper is on fire. He's pulling out saves. Curry's only had 4 shots on target. All of them looked like they were going in. But
Oh, it was nearly such a wonderfully worked free kick from Diz. Raspadori dinks the ball up into the box. And you remember the David Platt goal against Belgium? Like that for Caputo, but instead they didn't have David Platt. They had a centre-half who just volleyed it over the stand.
the only 3 people who remember the David Platt goal are on this panel. And
I think we might have a 4th goal for
Not me.
Sweet Left Foot now. There is another check that's going on, but
Penalty.
there's another goal for Solanke. Sweet Left Foot 4-0 up.
Penalty to Mozza, 76 minutes. There's a bit of confusion about whether it should have been given or not, but Mozza's now obviously doing his little Mozza thing of going, oh God. Belotti makes it 1-0 in the Tsar derby. Mozza takes the lead, and I think that puts him top of the group as well.
Goofy George is hanging on here. He's just had a header off the line for a corner. Had a penalty save. Just because the Bob has thrown everything at him, and it's been repelled by Goofy's defense. It's crazy.
Benzema's scored, we think.
Andy Carroll! Andy
Disallowed.
Carroll scored! Alice
Yes!
is 2-1 up. Andy Carroll's done it. Lorenzo Insigne puts the ball in. Our boy, Andy Carroll, has got the goal. I know I'm supposed to be biased, but you don't know how excited we were on the draft show when Alice picked Andy Carroll. And Andy Carroll beats a man off his shoulder and shows a little bit of speed, slots it into the back of the net with his feet. It's 2-1 now to FM Girl.
Is Dele Alli starting in that game?
I believe so.
Out of curiosity, Ali.
Potentially,
My
he came
outrageous-
on in the last couple of matches and he's done pretty well as a sub, so I wouldn't
My
be surprised
outrageous
if you
prediction was
started him.
for yeah, my outrageous prediction was for her to qualify with a lineup from 2011, basically.
But I called Andy Carroll for the MVP, so Camavinga's through. Oh, should have been 3-1, Diz.
Limo has had 5 yellow cards in this game. He came into it with 7 of his players having yellow cards. He's 2 people suspended. Limo is kicking the crap
Had
out
a
of Curtis Steven
potential
here.
goal here for Stinger. It is going to VAR. The goal review is being checked, and it's disallowed. 80th minute. FM Girl is still in the lead. She remains in charge here. She just has to wait. Incredibly lucky to
Martinelli
not
just
concede
missed
early.
a last minute 1-on-1, and he is getting the business from Curtis Martinelli for having no composure. He absolutely skied a chance. 1-on-1 with the keeper. It wasn't even close to the net. Oh, he should have won that game.
How are we looking, Kev? You've been quiet for a short while.
There's plenty of back and forth action. There's a current attacking move for GYR on the edge of the box. Just give me a second. And it's fired at the goalkeeper. He gets it clear, but they're going to pick up the loose ball. What I would say is that both XG ratings from both of these managers is about 1.4, 1.6. But Sweet Left Foot has got 4
It's
goals
3-1.
from his.
I'm sorry. As soon as I've asked, I've had to cut you off. Well, the
good.
call went
No
to
problem.
VAR. It's the nature of the gig. I apologise, but it's 3-1 now to Alice. Decore plays Insigne through. It went to VAR. Insigne was apparently offside. We're looking at the replay now. Andy Carroll is involved, so I'm content. Ball played through to him. Plays it short to Decore, through to Insigne, and it's in.
There's a 5th goal for Sweet Left Foot. Just before this, GYR had a couple of attempts on an attack that were half chances, didn't get anywhere near it. And then from a fairly long range shot, again, I think it's Reece James for this one. Sweet Left Foot just gets it. Everything is falling for him. He's getting deflections. He's winning interceptions. He's
Goal.
swarming all over them. And it's 5-0.
Not Viking Dan. Cosabals after taking the lead against Goofy Jordan is 10 men. Goofy George is after taking something off his desk and just tossing it into the background. He's losing his mind. There was no right back at home. Tyson had a free run to the goal and after sliding it onto the keeper. The rage is real for Goofy, though. The rage is very real.
It's just a game, bro. It's just a game. Don't worry. It's not real.
I mean, this must be a turn up
It's
for the
another
Bucks,
one
right?
for FM Guild. Davide Calabria scores a volley just on the edge of the box to make it 4-1. And I bet Stinger, I mean, that first half, 14 chances for Stinger, 1 for Alice, and it was 1-0 to FM Girl. I mean, Insigne plays it, banging volley, pretty sure with his opposite foot as well. Keeper had no chance. He was in no man's land, basically, off to the corner sharp. It's 4-1 to FM Girl.
Finishes 5-0 here to Sweet Left Foot. It was not that distant in terms of the statistics, other than the one that matters. And Sweet Left Foot dominates the goals.
I think it's quite surprising in the Tsar derby, where the first half was over in a bat of an eyelid, and the second half is just about to finish, and the Dalgett match has still got 5 minutes left. So they've actually taken all of their time in this second half. Obviously, Muzza trying to get back to get a point and rescue that. Mozza's gone defensive in his shape. 2 minutes to go. Mozza's got a corner. To be fair, I haven't really seen a Muzza highlight in this, so I think Mozza's going to hopefully try and see this one out, and we're just waiting for Diz to continue again to potentially finish this Diz match.
George with 10 men has moved he's moved to wing back, or fullbacks up to wing back. He's brought his line all the way up, turned on offside, then he's went back, moved his wing backs back. He's ticked a lot of stuff and unticked 90% of it again. So
Well,
not saying he's
finished
freaking out,
here
but
in the featured game, FM Girl 4, Stinger 1. What games are remaining with a bit of time left on them? We can switch to those, so we've got something to
12
watch.
minutes left in Kaza Bob's game.
Is that against Goofy Jord?
That is indeed.
Indeed. Well, as soon as
Chance here. Rice from about 25 yards is after banging a goal. Ball's headed clear from across. Declan Rice picks it up, one touch, right foot across the keeper, side netting. An unbelievable finish.
Final whistle's gone in the Tsar derby. Mozza 1, Muzza 0. So, I think that puts Mozza potentially top of the group. Well, no, I think Bob's still winning, isn't he?
Well,
He definitely becomes King of Scotland.
We have the Kosovo Goofy Jord game on right now, and Declan Rice has just banged one in to make it 3-1 from outside of the box.
You missed my commentary on all that, did you? Oh, it's a second. You're behind. Kurt Zuma's after getting a second for 10 men, Goofy George. It's a Kurt Zuma goal, so it's from a corner.
We are very far behind on this stream then in
We've
that
all seen
case.
Yeah. 84 minutes and 4 seconds is where I am.
Diz has got his arms in the air. The final whistle's gone. He's beaten Bust the Net 2-1. And Diz looks so happy, to be honest. It was all Dalgett, really. 2 goals disallowed. 4 yellow cards for Dalgett. He's going to be foaming, absolutely foaming. But you know what? Fair play for Diz. Rode his luck, and that 4-4-2 diamond looks so much better for him. So let's see what happens in the next match.
Final highlight, 2 minutes left in injury time. It's Goofy George. The ball's thrown in Livermento. Zumba, even? That's not it. Calvert-Lewin plays a through ball. Chance for Armstrong. Oh, it's 3-3. He's off. He's off. I think he's off. He's off.
Jack.
Goofy George is going to lose his mind.
He's going to tear his eyebrows out.
It's goal awarded. And he celebrates like he's part of Jim Henson's Bottle crew. There's his hands and limbs everywhere. Oh, it's so unfair. It's been against the run of play. Oh, because Gabriel Jesus missed the penalty. You got to be fuming if you're Kaza Bob. Your first time on the big stage, and this happens.
He looks angry.
So cruel.
He looks angry, even though he's just equalised.
Yeah, he's so angry.
I think Armstrong. The line looked a bit weird there. I think.
Oh, go on! Oh, there's a chance. Free kick, back post. It's a header. Oh, it's not the crossbar. I thought it was the FMing of all FMing. Kaza Bob had a chance.
The highlights are still rolling. This is probably the end of game highlight because of how late the previous highlight was. But we could dream there's a goal.
I have the sound on. Kaza Bob just came in and said, "Oh man, I just punched my mic." So he's obviously in the workshop as well. I think his was accidental. There was no context for it. Chance here. Oh, what's happening? Ball over the top. Okay, I think it's the end of game highlight. They've cleaned up by Goofy George. Punted long. Oh, FM not like this.
Why is he passing it back? Jack's left.
Goofy George got up and walked away. He's gone. He can't have it. He can't have it. I don't blame him. It was too much for me. Oh, poor Kaza Bob is after getting shafted there.
All the games are finished. That one ends 3-3. Very, very unfortunate. And as soon as we are ready, we shall be delivering you the news from around the grounds. Again, action-packed week, full of goals and some surprise results. And we are on the verge of being able to give those to you. In just a second, we are ready now, so I will transition to there and read the results. In Group A, we had Muzza 1, Muzza 0. The Tsar derby has been complete. We now know who the superior Tsar is in the FM community. unfortunately, it is Mozza. Stinger 1, FM Girl 4 after 2 red cards, and Stinger not being able to make the most of his chances in that first half, and Cozza Bob 3, Goofy Jaw 3, and probably the angriest FM game I've ever witnessed. In Group B, we have Busternet 1, Mr. Diz 2. Full of surprises here as well in the second game is GYR FM loses 5-0 to Sweet Left Foot. Absolutely shocking result there. I don't think I've ever seen GYR FM lose by that margin before. And we finished that off with a 1-1 between Limo and Curti. Well, what does this all mean for our table? In spite of the draw, Cozza Bob remains in first place on 8 points. Mozza is in second place, also on 8 points, with 1 goal separating the two. FM Girl, after that dub, manages to hold third place with 7 points to her name. G Mozza, 5th with 4. Goofy Jord is currently sat in... Did he win? We've got 1 draw and 3 losses, so that might not be correct at the moment.
It was
so we'll get that updated.
That is not correct, because he drew that game, didn't he?
Yeah, he drew that game. So we'll have that update coming in as soon as we can. I'm sure it will probably be altered live.
I can talk. Yeah.
And Stinger.
The only difference is himself and Mozza switched places. That's it. I've got the league table here.
There we go. There's the draw. The draw is in now. He's on 4 points. We've managed to fix it. And Stinger sits bottom of the table on 6. Okay, the table's completely different. Let's do that again. Mozza is now top of the table with 8 points. It takes a bit of time to update between the two sheets, unfortunately. Mozza is top of the table with 8 points. We have FM Girl now in second with 7. Cozza Bob in third with 6. G Mozza and Goofy Jord share 4th and 5th place, respectively, on 4 points with a -1 goal difference for Goofy Jord and a complete 0 for Mozza, explaining why there's a separation. And Stinger is bottom. Only player here to not have picked up a win yet, with just 2 points. At the top of the table for Group B, Sweet Left Foot keeps the winning form running. He has 12 points. Second place, with half the points, is GYRFM with 6. Curti takes third place with 5. Limo is in 4th with 4. Mr. Diz is in 5th with 4 as well. Limo's on a -7 goal difference. Mr. Diz is on a -8, explaining why the positions are where they are. And Dalje is bottom of the table there with 3 points. Technically, everyone can still qualify. And I'll throw it to Owen first this time.
Stinger can't.
Stinger... Yeah, true.
Stinger can't qualify.
Stinger cannot qualify. I was referring to Group B. Sorry, I should have specified.
You're so full of crap.
Everyone in Group B can still qualify, but looking at this, it's not looking very likely for Busternet, is it? I mean, he would be on level points with GYRFM, but I just can't see all the results going his way. Who do you think we can write off at this stage, even if they've not necessarily ducked out? Owen.
Personally, I don't think you can write off anyone other than Stinger. I mean, Busternet, if he wins, he goes third. If without goal difference changing, even if Curti and them draw, he can go third here. So I don't think you write anyone off. It's a long shot. He needs a lot of results to go his way.
Oh, definitely.
But I don't think you write off anyone. I think the only people that are safe is Mozza and Sweet Left Foot. Everyone else could be caught. So everyone else is nervous going this game, even though Stinger is out, he can't go through himself. He can have a massive impact on someone's evening this evening. So, assuming he's not playing Mike or Mozza, which I haven't actually checked, he can spoil an evening. So, it's all to play for.
It looks apparently like the loser of Diz versus Limo will be out. We're just getting that through from Andrew, our stats guy, who's crunching the numbers. So that seems to be something going on there. We obviously are looking at tactical familiarity as well. We are also being told that managers who don't change tactics tend to go through. So the tweakers and the ones who are chopping and changing all the time are going to obviously struggle. I think you're right. I think still this is an interesting position to be in. Match day 4 and still only having one person cut away and adrift from everybody. There's usually one or two who are sunk at this point. But to go into match day 5 with spaces still available and with games still to win, and these tables could change drastically between now and the end of that match. I think, again, I keep saying this has been a really eventful tournament, and it wasn't going to be easy to call from the start. And looking at what we've got now, I think it's going to get even tighter. But again, still saying it again, I said FM Girl wasn't going to finish last. I said Mr. Dismal wasn't going to finish last. And so far, they are proving me right.
I'm not convinced it's just Stinger that we can dismiss here, though, because only in the sense that all of the facts in front of us suggest that Daljit Busternet is struggling, and his next game, I think, is against Sweet Left Foot.
Correct.
And that's a big, big ask for a team that's low in momentum and morale to be able to overcome somebody that is